Okay, welcome to the top 25 most important Steelers for 2026. This is the 6th year we've done this. It's an exercise of trying to work out not who the best players are, but who are the most important players, i.e. who has to outperform expectation, who needs to be better than what we think for the Steelers to have any chance of getting near a Lombardi. So it could be a third string cornerback that you believe needs to outplay because there's a weakness ahead of them. Not the case this year. But that's the deal. So we're going to go through. We start with the 25th. I don't know why. When did that start, that tradition? I don't remember.
That was a couple of years ago when we decided we wanted to go 25 to 1, and then we did 25, and then you wanted to go back to 1 to 24. And we just thought it was funny enough to keep going that way, and I think it is fun because it kind of sets a precedent, doesn't it? I think.
Okay, fine. So we'll start with the last, and then we'll work our way down. We'll score points. Each player gets points, then we combine those points and come up with an accumulated list. So should we start? Should we get going?
Well, I enjoy that in the spreadsheet that I'm seeing on the YouTube, we already seem to have Aaron Rodgers listed in the.
Yeah, well, I put him there just because I dare anyone not to. But I think Ketz did last year, and that's why he's banned from all list shows and why he's not here this year. Sorry, Ketz, that's not really true.
Ketz had Aaron Rodgers 4th last year.
Let's be fair, Ketz is banned from lit shows because he thinks Julian Edelman's the best receiver of the last 50 years.
Yeah, there's been many reasons why Ketz isn't here for the show.
I think the problem mostly for Ketz is that he was doing the most important Steelers of the 2029 season each time. Which, that's just the way he looks at things, and that's absolutely fine. There you go.
Right, Simon, as our leader, would you want to go first on your 25th player here?
Yes, absolutely. I would love to. And it's a guy who I don't think really probably has engendered a great deal of chat on this show in the time since he's been signed by the Steelers this offseason. But it's a guy who I'm excited to see in a Steelers uniform, and a guy who I certainly liked coming out in the draft, even if he is, as you say, Gav, at a position that is perhaps a little bit easier to find out there than free safety, and that's Jaquan Brisker. I've listed at number 25. We're going to see what safety role he has. I don't know. Do we usually talk about... It's weird with the 25th one. I guess we'll talk about them, because I don't want to spoil if anyone else has them on the list and stuff, but I'll just say this, that I think Jaquan Brisker's, like you say, a great hard-hitting downhill safety. He's a guy who I think is going to really continue to solidify a certain vibe and energy in the defensive side of the ball that the Steelers don't want to lose, but risk losing by signing a coach like Mike McCarthy, who doesn't have his eye on that side of the ball. Now, I think we all feel great about Patrick Graham. I think we feel great about the continuity in that room. So I'm not too worried about it, but I do think Jaquan Brisker is a great add and a guy who fits the mold of a Steelers defense, and I think he'll be successful.
I agree with you. I actually had him 22nd. I think it's an important signing. I think I
hit your battleship.
Indeed. He as you say, he is a Steeler in vibe. I'm hoping the concussions and whatever else don't resurface. He's had a few. But we liked him in the draft. Aggressive, downhill, multiple player that can play a number of positions. And exciting. Again, another reason why I'm excited about this secondary. I think a Brisker signing sort of went unheralded because there were so many good moves. But he's. I think he could become a fan favorite on this team.
Agreed.
Oh well. First of all, I think you've put Jaquan Brisker 26th for Cy somehow in there, or is that
don't question the spreadsheet.
Don't question the spreadsheet. The spreadsheet is sacrosanct.
Okay.
Mark. Come on.
Okay, it's sacrosanct. Okay,
it will be adjusted as we go. It just it gives me some space to move things around.
Okay. Well, in any event,
what's important, if you care, what's important is the total points on the right rather than the position.
Okay. Fair enough.
Well,
I will resume by saying I'm going to sink both of your battleships because I have Jaquan Brisker 18th.
Whoa!
In my importance.
I thought I was being a bit hot-takey getting him on the
Well,
top
no,
25.
I think your reasons absolutely stand, and also the fact that this is, as we have pointed out, a little bit of a thin room. So, I think it's very important for him to stay healthy for as a massive key point there. But everything you said there, I absolutely agree with Brisker as well, and I think he's going to be, rather important. He's 18th on this list, but still very important.
It's always this is why I love this exercise, and a lot of these exercises that we do that fall under the broad scope of list shows is that sometimes you come into it expecting to be like defending Jaquan Brisker's inclusion on the list, and instead now I'm defending why he's so low on my list. And
why are you so low on Jaquan Brisker? I think. Go on.
So I know we've fallen into that trap. I think I just felt, I guess, that there was some other options and like we're going to get into some of the names. I don't want to get, but there's some other options in that room where I guess, even if Jacon Briscoe wasn't such a hit, I guess it's not quite as impactful as other areas, specifically at the strong safety position.
Yeah, but that's the whole point. He's listed as, well, there's no free safety and strong safety listed, but they've got two strong safeties listed as starting safeties. This is my issue. Yeah. So if he can, I don't know, can he play much free safety?
Are they going to rely a lot on Peyton Wilson in coverage?
Who knows? But yeah, so that's why he was high up for me, because if he can deliver decent reps at free safety, when, if Ramsey starts in free safety and rolls down, and Briscoe starts down in nickel and rolls up, then it's going to be important that Briscoe can actually produce there.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, Mark, do you want to go with your 25th?
I will go with my 25th, and let's just get this out of the way. Let's get the argument out of the way right now. It's coming. I've got Chris Boswell as my 25th most important Steeler.
Every time.
This is what you alluded to. I do this
every time because I stand my ground with this, right? And even more so this season by the fact that we have got new offensive and defensive coordinators. So the players on this team are now even more vitally important in that area than Chris Boswell is. If these other players shine, Chris Boswell becomes less important, and that is what I have stood by this whole time. I know I know how good Boswell is, and I know how vital he can be.
It's not about how good he is.
I know how important he is as well. I do know he is important. He's in my top 25 here. He is important, but he's not as important as those guys that should be getting it done in the other areas of the game.
All right, well, let's swap Chris Boswell with Young Koo and see how fast his importance rises up Mark's list.
As your number one top scoring player every year, your kicker is always going to be I think that this list should always start Rodgers or your quarterback and then your kicker. I just think without those two positions,
no, you're on the opposite end of the crazy.
He's number two, and that is locked in for me.
That is.
How can you? I don't know. We remember the year that Sean Sweetson went down, and they had a carousel of terrible kickers, including Fat Randy, and it was a disaster.
Touchdowns are overrated.
Missed extra points kill you in games. Shanked kickoffs kill you in games. And field goals to win the game. What else is more important than that? Apart from getting down into field goal range in the 2 minute, to get that opportunity to kick. So Aaron Rodgers 1, Chris Boswell 2 for me, no question. But okay, Mark, you've gone the other way.
Mad. It's absolutely mad.
How is it mad? I don't understand. Who scores the damn points on this team?
It's if Pitt again their job, then he becomes less important.
Stop it here, shall we?
We will have this argument until the end of time. We really will.
Were you watching when was that? When was that Sean Sweetson broke his leg in the Hall of Fame game? 2016?
I remember.
2015? Were you watching, Mark, that season?
I remember.
I remember these things.
You remember Sean Sweetson?
We
remember that era.
That wasn't Boz 2015?
Max Wright showed up for a while.
Or he came into 2015?
It was Boswell was the saviour. He saved us from that carousel of awful kickers.
He did. And it can't be denied. And all that said, I have him at 16. I think you're both a bit nuts. I think Mark, to be honest, is closer to my school of thinking in that I think there's a philosophical argument taking place here where I'm a bit surprised by your hardline stance on it, Gav, in that I would think that someone as analytical as you would kind of side on the idea that follow the money here and like the idea that the importance really is garnered by the level that they get paid. And if he was really so important, then he would, kickers would be paid, the Justin Tucker, before the incident, we don't talk about the incident. Before the incident, Justin Tucker would have been paid the same as Patrick Mahomes because of his level of importance, because he was so much better than everyone else at the position. I don't know. I think you've kind of got to have here's the thing. Mark's right in what he says. The kicker becomes a little bit less important, regardless of who it is. Forget Chris Boswell. The kicker position becomes a little bit less important the better the team is.
I disagree. You're thinking purely from field goals.
No, it's not a straight line. Well, yeah, I understand. But why? What are you thinking? Mainly,
which are worth 2 more points than an extra point.
I mean, how often are they getting missed even by bad kickers? I mean, it's minimal. It's not very often.
Tell that to Tyler Loop.
Sure. Look, I don't know. I think it's more a philosophical argument than really an interesting one, probably. But I think it's hard to argue that he's the second most important player on the team every year. Come on.
No, it's not. It's very easy. He's a high scorer, and everything I've just said. Rewind and listen to it.
Once again, I thought I was going to get pushback on this one for being too high on Chris Boswell this year. Where I've obviously forgotten that you must do this every year. Do you put Chris Boswell?
Yeah, it's QB kicker every year. That's
Right.
how I go.
All right.
And we have this argument every year.
Every year.
I'm starting to think you live by the mantra of touchdowns are overrated. I really do think you're starting to live by
touchdowns are overrated.
He's involved in touchdowns. He's involved in kickoffs. He's involved in field goals. He's involved in a lot of point scoring. And if he has a bad season,
Who's the long snapper?
no matter what, how many times have we seen a team drive down to win a game and the kicker shanks it because he's got the yips and they lose the game?
So what? Christian Kuntz is number 3.
Yeah, is Christian
for you?
Kuntz 3?
No, that's
Yeah,
different.
he's not-
That's completely different. It's
A
all
lot of
about
my
the kicker.
friends are long snappers.
Well, look what happened when the Bengals lost their long snapper in that game against us, and then they missed that extra point. He's vital.
Sure. All right. Maybe that should be the 26th is always the long snapper. But okay, we'll agree to disagree because this could go on forever. But
From Angus
wrong.
Bem in the chat, Nearly put Boz at 5. He did his own list as Mark asked for. We'll come back to that in a moment. Nearly put Boz at 5, but at the end of the day, kickers are one of the most replaceable positions on the team. As much as I love him, and this is I think where we get into the problem. Gav, if we didn't have Chris Boswell, but we instead had, I don't know, like a league average or slightly below league average, like someone who's just a little bit nondescript, Polk or the Randy the Fat Kicker or whoever.
Who's that lad? The Cardinals last night. It was
Sure, exactly. Who is that lad? Where would we be?
Chad Ryland.
Where would you put them on the list if it wasn't Chris Boswell? Because the importance of your argument remains the same, but the player and how relevant they are to being that important diminishes. So
it's
would
still
you
the
still have them
same
a second?
situation though. If he's
So
having a
then I
bad
think-
season and you've got to be bringing a load of street kickers,
Then I would argue that you're rating then just the positions, not the players.
But yeah, I kind of am in this.
All right,
in
let's
this exercise.
rebrand the segment. Welcome to the 25 most important positions.
All right, okay, we'll agree to disagree. I strongly believe this.
I think we've cornered him, Mark.
Yeah, I'm not going to change my mind about this. But hey, we don't have to. We don't have to. The points are averaged out, and that's why we do it. Okay, let's move on. I want to get to mine because this is an exciting one. I am going to the Paris game to see him play the Saints. I'm very tempted to buy this cat's jersey if he makes the team because it would look cool as well. 25, I have Riley Nowakowski.
Whoa!
Now, why is this guy important?
Convinced me of this one.
Well, here you go. Why is this cat important? Why did they take this guy? I'll tell you why. Because this is a Mike McCarthy special, right? What does Mike McCarthy want to do? He wants to keep the same personnel on the field and so that the defense can't shift, can't make substitutions, right? But you can play different stuff. You can make different formations out of the personnel you've got. So you can stay in 12 personnel, i.e. one running back, 2 tight ends. One of those tight ends will be Nowakowski. He's not a tight end. He's multiple. He can play receiver. He can play fullback. He can play tight end. He can do lead back. He can do whatever you want, right? So he enables this offense and Mike McCarthy's vision to work. So I think, all right, he's not like the most important player on the team, but I think he's important to what Mike McCarthy wants to do. So Riley Nowakowski, thank you very much.
I like it. Yeah. I just for the record, I have no rookies in my top 25, and I think I have just, I think I've lent more towards that. From a couple of years ago, where I think I was putting 2 or 3 in there, but I just think rookies, the pressure's off a little bit for them, and I'm not so worried if year one doesn't go too well. It's just, and I get I get the place you're coming from there, Gav. Certainly, could make things very interesting for the Steelers. But yeah, I just in terms of importance, I'm not focusing too much on those first year guys. This time around, at least, if you get a very special, because our first round pick this year, he's currently second on the depth chart. It might take him a little while to grow into things. So, I haven't got him in the top 25 for that reason. If it was a more premium position in that first round that was taken, maybe that guy is a little bit more important in that case. But just that's yeah. I just wanted to avoid getting the rookies in there this year. Have you got any, Si?
I do.
Ooh,
I won't spoil it.
I'm guessing
But
you
I
don't
do.
have neither of you have Nowakowski in this list.
I don't.
Okay,
But I will say I actually quite like what you said there, and I think you're quite right, because what we've seen, and we saw a lot of it this year in the draft, was all these guys that were being drafted, and we were all like, who, what, why? Like, how are these guys being drafted so high? These tight ends, these kind of, proto fullback types. And I think it's true that a lot of these offensive-minded head coaches are especially thinking, yeah, this is the way the league's going. We need this pivot piece. And it's kind of bizarre to think of it. And I think it's actually a really good use of this exercise to say, yes, he's not going to be paid the most. He's not going to be even paid very much attention to. No one's going to know his name outside of, the most hardcore of Steelers fans, maybe. But he is actually going to be quite an important kind of pivot central piece that a lot of things rest upon.
Do you remember when Darnell Washington went out last year and the offense kind of fell apart?
Right.
Because
That's a great example, yeah.
Arthur Smith's offense kind of ran through Washington a little bit in terms of blocking and the surprise leak out catch and rumble downfield. I think Nowakowski could be that kind of Jenga piece, not necessarily in the success of the offense, but in the breadth of the playbook that McCarthy can play calls from will narrow without Nowakowski. Because who else is going to come in and do a lead block? Who's going to line up at tight end, pull across, and do a trap block or go across and receive a pass? I don't know who that is on this team apart from him. So I do think he's a little unlock code to a little section on the play calling sheet.
Yep. Yeah, no, I like it.
All right, let's go to the top, and this is where we can refer to some of the 1 to 5s people have put in the chat. So, Si, do you want to lead us off with who you've got top?
Aaron Rodgers.
Okay. Do we need it?
I would also like to express my interest in Aaron Rodgers at number one. There.
Oh, look, Mike's name's still on the spreadsheet.
Yes, I just noticed that. I've also noticed a couple of interesting zeros down there. Are you preempting me and Si?
No, that was just me testing that the old sum.
There you go.
What have we learned? Don't question the spreadsheet, Mark.
Don't question the spreadsheet. Sacrosanct.
Aaron Rodgers, number one.
Yeah. Do we need to move on? Has anyone put anyone other than Aaron Rodgers in the chat? Let's have a look here. No, our listeners know what they're talking about. Yeah. Okay. Not much else to say here, right? If he
I think
isn't...
we understand that the team, especially with the QB situation as it is capped without Aaron Rodgers. And that's the end of the conversation, really, isn't it? I mean, none of it matters if you don't. If that's at least the way we all feel. I mean, who knows? Maybe Mason Rudolph really does have that arm. But at the end of the day, I don't think many of us believe that if Aaron Rodgers went down and we were on a hot run in the playoffs, that we would go like Bo Nix falling for the Broncos last year. It would be a Jerry Stidham situation.
Right, exactly. So I think we can move on. We can all agree. And Chris Boswell should be second, but he isn't. So, Si, who have you got second there?
Well, it's an interesting one this year. I don't know about Mark. I actually, without the ideological constraints that Gav works with, I actually found it quite difficult to pick a number two this year. I think in previous years, we almost just kind of auto-penned in a certain hyper efficient pass rusher. I just think this year, I got to be honest, I decided to zag a little bit, and I've gone with Cam Hayward. I think maybe some people can argue it's a bit weird in a season where he's another year older, but I just think that he is the not only de facto leader of the defense, to be honest, but just the leader of this team, the heart of this team, the engine of this team in many ways. And I think you feel something in the vibe and the energy, especially of the defense, of course, but of the whole stadium when Cam Hayward isn't healthy or if Cam Hayward goes down. I think this team goes as Cam Hayward goes a lot of time. And I worry that if you just don't have that energy, if he looks in any way diminished this season, I'm certainly not thinking he will do, because he's out on the press tours talking about he's going to play out the full contract, the 2 years that he's got left. So let's hope he's still looking exactly the same. And I think it's important that he does, because he still plays a massive, massive role in what is still a growing and young defensive line, as talented as it looks like it could be in the future.
I see your point. Unfortunately, I've got him down at 14. Now, I do think he's a talismanic player for the Steelers. I do think he's important as a leader. I do think he's important in the dressing room. But this is kind of what this exercise is about for me. Is I think he's on the back nine or the back two maybe. who knows how long. I hope he goes
Yeah,
on.
but here's the thing, Gav. This is what I love about Cam Hayward's career is that the 18th hole counts just as much as the first hole. Brother.
It does. But I just think we're going to see a little bit more Derek Harmon. We're going to see a little bit more rotation. I think they're going to try and preserve Cam for as long as possible, and that's important. But I don't think, with the additions the team has made in that position group, I don't think he's number 2 for me. But I can understand why you put him, and perhaps I've got him a little bit too low. But I just think if we just have an average Cam Hayward season, which is very, very high standard, don't get me wrong, I think that's okay. I think that will be good.
Yeah.
So it's only if he has a bad season. So that's why he's a little bit low for me. And we've seen him have these fantastic seasons where he's, his ball rush is still incredible, and he's getting that interior pressure. So perhaps he could be a real difference maker this year. So maybe I'm wrong, but I just think, he's got his underling. He's Qui-Gon, and Derek Harmon is Obi-Wan. Spoiler alert, maybe Harmon might be a little bit higher on this list for me.
Whoa.
His little cams, as he called Harmon and YA Black in practice. For those reasons, Gav, particularly the rotation reason, I'm actually on your side with this. I have him as 16 on my important Steelers list. I completely agree with what you say there. It's interesting for your point of view, Si, that your 2 most important Steelers are the 2 oldest Steelers on the roster as well.
What does that say about my lack of belief?
Yeah, it's very, very interesting that. But yeah, no, I fully agree with you, Gav, there. I think, there will be more rotation in play. I do think there will be an eye on more important pieces. Well, I say more important, but they are going to be more important because, there's a couple higher on my list. I just think for Cam, I like the depth of this D tackle group at least now. It's decent.
Gav, can you do me a favour? Sorry to interrupt you, Matt.
Go ahead.
Just on the live stream while Mark's talking, could you just go to the podcast Twitter feed, please?
Sure.
Just carry on, Matt.
What's happening?
No, I'd kind of finished my point, but I'm very intrigued as to where you're going with this.
It's all right. This was just really more for something that I would like the listener to see as you were continuing to discuss Cam Hayward's lack of importance.
Yeah. No, there's no lack of importance. He's still in the top 25.
There it is. Is that what you're talking about? This, by the way, for anyone doesn't know, this is Mark and his lovely partner Kathy. Maybe she should remain nameless.
Okay.
And this is this is he who we're talking about. And here are some of Mark's friends. Do you want to name them?
Yes, there's Sasha and Sasha, the 2 Sashas.
This Sasha,
fan of the year.
In the white, wearing a Betis.
Yes, he's one of the Sashas. And then the guy in the white hat, where you can see the big International Fan of the Year badge on. That's the other Sasha. But yes, that is me with my arm around the 16th most important Steeler of the year. Fair point, Si. Fair point, well
I
made.
just thought maybe you should let your friend Cam Hayward know that you think he's washed.
Oh, yeah.
Neither of us said washed, We didn't say washed.
Me in the jersey of said man as well. Yeah, fair enough. I see a point.
Vegas TJG has got his hand up in the chat. Is he in this photo, Mark?
I had my arm around him. Imagine what I would do to the top 15 most important Steelers.
Question where your hand would be directed in that photo.
Let's move on quickly before we get cancelled.
Just very quickly before we move on, I would just like to say, so I put in the chat, does anyone think Rodgers isn't the most important Steeler? And I've got a hand up emoji from Vegas.
That's what that means.
Vegas TGJ.
Vegas, please tell us who is number 1 for you. Yeah.
Yes, please do.
I'm so stupid. I thought he was putting his hand up saying he was in that photo.
Well, I'm hoping that Vegas says it's Chris Boswell. That would really make my day.
Let's hope he says Cam Hayward.
If you do, we
all
will
right.
shadow ban you.
It all relies on Vegas, TJG. Okay, should we go to number 2 then? Yeah, Mark.
So I think this is a very important one. This actually almost to me felt a little bit too easy, but see if you agree with me on this one. I think Troy Fautanu is unbelievably important this season. He's moving over to that left-hand side, to that blind side, in lieu of whatever is happening with Broderick Jones. And yes, this was his preferred position in college, but after a year of injury and a year of playing on that right-hand side, and now being over there in one of the most important roles with the immobile quarterback to protect that could break into pieces at one wrong hit, I think it's an unbelievably important season for Troy Fautanu, who is also going to be having half an eye on potential contract talks by the end of next year as well.
That's come around so fast.
It's unbelievable, isn't it, really? But so I think it is a vitally important year that Troy Fautanu is as great as we really think he can be. Like he came on really nicely last season. Some issues here and there, but other than that, like I think he could be a really, really dependable piece for the Steelers' future. This is the year where you have to solidify that, and so I think vitally important to this Steelers team.
Such a polished college prospect, so technical. We haven't quite seen it yet, but I think being played out of position, his hair was probably spinning for a long time last season. Now back in his natural left tackle spot. I think this is the season. I think you're right, Mark. I've got him fifth. I do think he's very, very important, especially with what the hell is going on at the other tackle position, where it could be any one of three players. I think that's going to be a theme with this line, that any consistency we can have along this line is going to be really important, and especially the blindside protector, which is what he is. He's a space coverer. He's such a smooth mover. Not the biggest, he's not the strongest, but he's technical and he can move well. And I'm really hoping that Rodgers can trust him.
Yep. Excited to see what we can see out of him this year. I'm expecting a lot out of him. I think I agree with you both. I think you could really argue he could be anywhere in the top 5. Well, maybe outside of 1. But I have him at 5 as well, funnily enough, Kev. I could see the argument for 2 as well, though, to be honest, Mark. As soon as you said, like, moving over to the blind side, I was like, yeah, that's a good point. Especially as we say, he's protecting Aaron Rodgers, who we're all just dismissing as anything other than the most important Steeler. So almost by handoff there, you've got kind of just automatically he's one of the most important Steelers just because he's protecting the most important Steeler.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do we like this thing like they did it with Broderick Jones as well? Like, you start on the right and then a couple of years later you move over.
No, we don't love it, but
this is the problem though. It's a new whole new look coaching and everything. Hopefully that sort of goes away, but I think this is probably part of what needs to be done as part of that new system.
I think it's could break players as much as it helps them. All right,
really
they get game. Yes, they get game experience, but it's like you've learned to drive on the left-hand side of the road, and suddenly when you're in the biggest spot of your life, you're driving on the other side of the road. It's like, no, come on, just let him play where he's used to, and he's instinct, and he's not having to reverse everything. So I'm hoping that he's not been broken by that whole experience.
And I think the other thing is that players are different. Like they're not a monolith. Like every player's not the exact same. Some players probably are able to do that, and it's no problem for them because it's just kind of the way their brain's wired. Is that? And do you know what the funny thing is? It's probably not even down to intelligence or football smarts. This specific issue of left-right tackle is probably just more to do with like the way your brain's wired and like how easy it is for you to instinctively do things left and right and be ambidextrous, or do you know what I mean? It's probably a little bit more to do with like that kind of thing than it is even like teaching or intelligence and stuff like that. So you say, it's probably a lot of instinct.
It's not quite as savage, but like it's like asking a quarterback to throw with the other arm, right? It's like you're not going to be as good. It's not quite the same, but it's not far off, I think, in some ways.
I feel sorry for offensive linemen sometimes because I think sometimes like people's lack of understanding of the position as a whole like leads to people think, well, you're just a big dude. You can still be a big dude on the right the same as you could be a big dude on the left, right?
Yeah, it's like the differentiation between tackle and guard. It's like, oh, you're a big dude. You can just do whatever. It's like, no, there is a fine line.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got certain techniques where you attack the chest with one arm, and if you're doing it the wrong way round, you might
do it with your weaker arm. Maybe all of a sudden
you're slightly giving up the inside rather than giving up the outside, just fractionally, and I think that screws you. And you're trying to think about your footwork and use the other arm where you usually use the left arm to jab, using the right arm, and all that stuff. I just think it throws them out, and I don't know why the former Brain Trust did it. It's ridiculous.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I think they, let's be honest, I think they were fearful to use the depth of their team. I think they were desperate to get young starters in that were of a higher caliber than what they had. They were struggling on O-line out of necessity. They did it, and they really shouldn't have done. And we spoke about it at the time, and I think probably at the time we were split because we wanted to see these guys. But I think you're right. I mean, it's unquestionably not great for the development, is it?
No, and because it's different roles. I mean, all right, teams do things both ways, but You want your left tackle to be, a technical, smooth-moving pass protector, and you want your right tackle to be a thundering road grader that can punch a hole, and then you can run behind and create that kind of veer look, where you're getting big gaps between him and your tight end on the strong side. So I don't know. It's stupid. Anyway, should we move on? I'll wax lyrical about that. My number 3. Can I go there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
DK Metcalf.
Whoa.
I like it. Yeah.
I think this is a big one. These receiving lines are pretty thin. I know we've talked about Roman Wilson. Obviously, there's Jeremy Bernard. But we saw what happened last year when Metcalf was suspended for beating up a fan. And it wasn't good. And yes, we're hoping that Pittman comes good and plays that number 2. But Metcalf's the only real assured weapon in this receiving core that we know we can bank on. With experience with the quarterback, hopefully has a good Wi-Fi connection with him. So I think it's huge, Metcalf. This is the Metcalf season, I think.
Yeah, agreed. I think the type of offense we're going to be running, he needs to be there and he needs to be driving the offense. I have him at 4, and I broadly agree.
I have him a little bit lower, probably because we're in a slightly better position than we were last year with receiver, and I absolutely get, if it all goes to pot. But, what happened? Who did we have when Metcalf went out suspended last year? It was Calvin Austin, and
I think it was the cast of the 2003 version of Guess Who.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. Little Scotty Miller showed up. Scrobro.
Exactly. This is what we were relying on. Exactly. At least if that happens and health is not an issue, then at least there is the Michael Pittman's, potentially a Jeremy Bernard, potentially even a Roman Wilson coming in.
I hate to say it, but that was why I had Robert Woods at 21 last year. Didn't even make the team. And I didn't know he was washed. Right? Did he catch on anywhere? I don't think he did he?
No.
Where did you have him?
I had him 21st last year, but that was more out of needing a
worry.
More out of needing a solid number 2, which they didn't have. We did this time. We didn't know that he was going to suck in the preseason, not get any looks and not catch any balls and then be cut.
I think we warned you of that.
You did. But I was still thinking veteran receiver, he'll come good, like much as we were saying about Pittman a minute ago. I say I'm sure he's going to come good. Experienced route runner, never was the quickest, so it doesn't matter if he's lost a step or two. But yeah, I don't think he caught on anywhere. I don't remember seeing him catch on. So I was wrong about that one. But the point stands: when DK Metcalf went out, if they had a solid number 2 veteran to rely on to lead the receiving core, they would have been all right.
Hey, look, we all need a solid number 2. If you don't have one, see a doctor. But
want to talk some shit?
I guess because of that, he's slightly lower. He's number 8 for me. I think there was just some cats above him that I just felt were slightly more important. I think there's a kind of pool here of about 7 or 8 players that could almost be interchangeable, I guess. But yeah, that's Metcalf's ended up at 8 for me there, just on the basis of I think he is important. There are just some other guys that I think are just slightly more important to the success of the Steelers this season because potentially of depth as well. Depth could be a big factor in these.
Okay, Fatanu's currently 2nd overall. I don't think that's going to change, so that's interesting. All right, where should we go? Sai, who have you got 3rd there?
At number 3 this season, in an expanded role, I actually looked at this because I went and checked my list last year. I only had him at 5. I thought I was going to give him a major raise. I only had him at 5 last season, so it wasn't that big of a raise. Patrick Queen.
I also have Patrick Queen at number 3.
Yes, and I think a lot of this, and you tell me back if you agree with my working out here, is that Patrick Queen is a guy who is still, I think we're all still kind of feeling that there's a bit of a potential there for a real, he can take over this defense as a leader and kind of, operate as that kind of field general, middle of the field, do it all, super quick, kind of, not the traditional side. I'm so sick of people saying sideline to sideline, to be honest. I'm going to ban that phrase. But you know what I mean. So I think
I'm not sure he's ever going to be a sideline to sideline.
No, he's not. That's why I'm trying to ban the phrase because it doesn't even fit what we use it as anymore. It's a stupid phrase. Let's ban it. Unless we get Ryan Shazier out of retirement and back in full form. I don't want to hear sideline
or
to sideline
Devin Bush pre-injury, pre-cat incident. He was sideline for a minute there.
Yes, so was the cat.
I think he was up and down, more vertical.
North south run. Yeah. What were we talking about? Patrick Queen. I think it's huge that if he can step in this Patrick Graham defense and hit the ground running and be that communicator and the guy who drives the defense, it's just massive. And I think that's why I've got him at number 3. Is that broadly you're thinking as well, Matt?
Pretty much, yeah. That is it. He is just going to be a key part of this, and it also kind of comes down a little bit to that room is. I mean, we're already seeing Malik Harrison drop into LB3 there, and if he drops, it is not great. Outside of Peyton Wilson, we don't know what Cole Holcomb's going to be like. So yeah, it's a bit of a concern there as well. So I've kind of got that in the back of my head as well. But yeah, mostly what you were saying there about the potential to be a real defensive leader. Hopefully the two Patricks can really join, bump heads together and really come up with a solid game plan together there. So yeah, vitally important to me.
Talking about things dropping, Rand just said in the chat, Mark, if your number 2 is too fluid, you should see a doctor. Just want to get that in there before the moment has passed.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I broadly agree with everything he's saying. I've got Queen 4. I think this is a very important season for the Steelers for Patrick Queen, but it's also a very important season for Patrick Queen because I think he needs to cement his role as green dot quarterback of the defense. I thought his season was all right last year, but there was a lot of doubters out there, weren't there? So I think he needs to. I think he needs to cement himself as one of the blue chip Steeler players, which he should be. Former first round pick
in here, I think, as well. But
right.
Well, I would argue that he had a bit of an up and down season. There were certainly times last season where I was coming on the show and going, "Do you know what? Yeah, that was a great Patrick Queen game, and he really took over that game." Once or twice last season, specifically, I remember feeling that way, but. As a whole, I think he still left a lot to be desired in terms of his positioning, in terms of some of his tackling angles, in terms of filling holes in the middle when they really needed to be filled. That deserves the first hour of the episode, doesn't it? It's like Dunkin' Donuts in here. So, yeah, I don't know. I want to like Patrick Queen, I think, more than he's making me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I want to be like, yes, Queen! But really, I'm like, maybe Queen?
Yes, Queen.
And Queen moves into the number 2 spot on this top 5 list. Did any of our listeners have him so high? Yeah, he did just right there.
I thought it couldn't change.
I believe so. Jason had Patrick Queen at 5 in his top 5. Where did you have Queen, Gav?
I had him 4th.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, that was very close to a.
Oh. Yeah, all right.
Sorry, Mark.
Oh, I see Ketz has snuck into the chat as well. Hello, Ketz. Why aren't you here?
Yes, well, he's banned. Banned.
I'm just
he's banned. I forgot he's banned. Yes.
So who have you got 4th there, Mark?
I have got Mr. Bad Back because of an empty wallet himself, Mr. Joey Porter Jr. at number 4. Again, hopefully he gets his bag. And then once he gets that bag, he needs to play to that bag. And we've talked about the strength of this corner room. Well, the strength of this corner room is very much on the shoulders of this young man who is getting vastly underrated by swaths of the NFL media.
I'm noticing that.
Exactly. It's ridiculous. Maybe we're a little bit biased. I don't care. I think Joey Porter Jr. is an absolutely fabulous player.
I don't think we are though, because I'm really noticing that. I'm like my ears are perking up because I think this happens right when you start to notice that your player is one of the better players at a position. Like even if it's just top 10 sort of thing. There was what was it? I think ESPN did their kind of like top 5 of each position, right during the off season a few months ago or last month. And I know it was a bit controversial because Cam Hayward didn't even get in the top 10, which was. I think this is disgraceful in my opinion. And in the I'm sorry, who are we talking about? My brain is just left the station. Joey Porter. In the cornerback one, Joey Porter wasn't even in the honorable mentions. So you had 10 guys and then like a list of like honorable mentions that was like 10 deep, and he wasn't even in that. And it was like, okay, we're really losing the plot here, guys. Nobody seems to have noticed that Joey Porter's broke out except us.
Exactly. This kid's going to be worth every penny, I think, of what we give to him, and it's just the pressure then of you've got your bag now play to it. So vitally important for him. massively important member of that secondary. He's not the veteran voice if Jalen Ramsey is out there, but he's still incredibly vital to this secondary. So, yeah, very, very excited to see what he can bring, and vitally important to the Steelers.
I'm so interested to see if Patrick Graham's going to travel him with the number one or just lock him down to one side. I truly hope he travels because he is the team's best lockdown press man corner, right? And especially since the team lost James Pierre, because he was pretty damn good in man too. I don't know who yet to be determined who is the next best man corner, but Joey's so good. Those long arms, those big spade hands, break up the ball. Ball skills, Mark, even if he never comes down with it. So
I'll never live that down. I will never.
No, it's not live it down. It was a disagreement, and I like to bring up disagreements because it's fun. But yeah, I think super, super important. If he can just lock down the lockdown position, then you can rotate all these other cats: Asante Samuel, Brandon Eccles, Jamal Dean. They can all kind of be in and out of the team. You just want Porter out there just to your number one receiver, just like erase him, like the wide receiver eraser that he can be. I had him 8th actually, because I think there's a couple other players that just pipped him, but I do think he's really, really important.
Okay.
Where'd you have him, Si?
I had Joey Porter 8th as well.
Okie doke.
Yeah, you had him in my sort of Metcalf position, so yeah I think there is this pool.
So there's similar, like a
players.
mirroring of those players on offense. That often happens, I think, when you have similar leveled players on wide receiver, corner, D line.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Do we need a break? We've done like the top sort of 7 guys plus we've done the top 6 plus.
Did we hit all of the top 5s from the chat? Did we get all of those?
Let's have a look here. Well, Ran was saying Jalen Ramsey. He may be coming up soon for some of us. We had Herbig from Jason, and Black and Cook. Now, Cook, I ummed and ahed about Cook. We'll get onto that, but I feel like that was more of a positional importance rather than Cook himself, because there's no guarantees he's going to win. So he was in and out of my team. Angus had Herbig second. So
for Herbig in the chat.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, a lot of Herbig fans. We'll see. I think we're going to differ on where Herbig is, but interesting looks what Patrick Graham is doing out there in training camp, and they're installing something that I'm quite excited about. We'll get onto when we get onto Herbig, but Herbig was down a little bit for me. So okay, let's carry on.
He's down after signing the 4 years major commitment contract. He's down.
Well, we'll get onto him when we get onto him. I don't know. Is he next for you, Si? And if not, who is?
Who is next for me? So what number is it? What am I on?
You would be 6th.
6. I'm on 6. No, it is not Nick Herbig, but it is a pass rusher. It's TJ Watt.
No, that's interesting.
That is interesting.
Why? Well, where have you all got TJ Watt? I'm a little bit worried.
No, because TJ Watt is 5th for me.
Oh.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Oh, have I not got your 5th? Oh, sorry, Mark. I should have gone with you.
No. Oh, no, yeah.
But we're there anyway. We are
there anyway, yeah. It's just because it's interesting who I have 6th as well. But am I the only one who still believes in TJ Watt?
Hang on a minute.
Come on.
One spot above me, and then
I get it. But I still think he's incredibly important to this team, because the very best of TJ Watt is a game changer, a game wrecker. It's just we don't see it as much as we used to. And you just hope that he can have that sort of, what was it? Not last season, the season before, when we thought Cam was a little bit on a down year, and then he just suddenly exploded and had an unbelievable year. You sort of hope that sort of thing happens with TJ. Yes, it's a slightly different position, and yes, he's got an heir apparent to that position as well that we need to work in. But on his day, TJ Watt is still one of the most fearsome competitors out there. So his importance, while slightly lesser than years past, and you kind of alluded to it earlier, Si, usually a lockdown number 2, sometimes a number 1 on this list for us in days where the QB position wasn't as great. It's slightly down, but TJ is still an imperative part of this defense, if not for anything else, but for the mentorship and the leadership that he brings as well. To this defense, he's still going to be a team captain on this defense, isn't he? So, yeah, it's still vitally important in that respect, and that's why he couldn't leave my top 5.
Yeah, I'm going to be slightly unpopular. I've got him down at 12th. Now, I do think he's important. And if he has a comeback season, then it would be fantastic. And who knows, maybe that's why this massively overpaid defense has kind of fallen flat for the last couple of years, in that he's not been performing. But I don't think we can I think almost if we don't look at him, it's like a quantum mechanics thing. No one look at TJ Watt, and maybe hopefully he'll be good again. There's been too much focus. It's like if you've been watching if you'd only started watching the Steelers for the last 2 seasons, you'd be thinking, why does the coverage keep talking about TJ Watt? This guy doesn't appear. And perhaps it's the pressure and the pec injury. And
he has big plays, though. Even in the last couple of seasons, maybe they've not been quite as many, but he still has the huge game-changing plays at times.
He does, but they've been less frequent than they were. I don't think he takes over games like he did. The backside pursuit is still there, but we haven't seen all the punch-outs, the forced fumbles, the strip sacks. So Angus asked the question, what would you see as a success for TJ? Sacks? I don't think it's just sacks. I think it's, and you could argue that he's been double teamed to hell, and that Terrell Austin didn't have a game plan, couldn't cook up a plan for TJ, and that's a good argument. And that in fact it was Terrell Austin, not TJ Watt. But I just think if he is a superstar edge rusher, he would have. I mean, look at I guess Myles Garrett's been on a good defense, but that guy just shows up every year, and as much as we hate it, on a bad team, that guy shows up. TJ, I want him to show up and just be taking over games and be a constant threat. And maybe that's why I've got Alex Highsmith actually higher, because
I was going to ask.
I've got Highsmith higher because I think he's going to be the bedrock, and I think you're going to see more TJ versus Herbig rotation, or all 3 of them. And they're all super talented pass rushers with different techniques and different styles. But I think I don't think we can. It's 10 dudes and TJ Watt out there anymore. I think this is more of a team, and so that's why he's a little bit down for me. But I still, a Hall of Fame. Is he Hall of Fame?
He's got to be. He held the sack record at one point. He was Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah. It's a lot of competition, though. That's the problem. I hope he is. I feel like he is.
Where does he fall on the all-time sack list? That's the question.
Yeah, and can you tell the story of the last? When was he drafted? 2017, 2018? The last 8 years.
10 now, isn't he? Yeah. Yeah.
Can you tell the story of the NFL without him? I'm not sure you can. I don't think you can tell the story of the Steelers without him, but there's no Super Bowls. There's not really many playoff runs. There's a lot of sacks. There's a lot of great plays. There's weird interceptions out of nowhere.
I would argue, though, there wasn't a huge amount. There was a bit, but there wasn't a huge amount of success for JJ Watt either, in terms of playoffs, and definitely he didn't win a Super Bowl and whatnot.
No, that's true. But he was dominant. He was the unquestioned, before Aaron Donald, he was the unquestioned number 1 defensive lineman. There was no question. There was JJ Watt, and then there was everyone else. You haven't got that. I think TJ.
There was. Well, I suppose it's just because him and Myles Garrett are so different positions, and again, you go into that whole thing. But I think at one point, unquestionably, TJ was the number 1 pass rusher in this entire league. So yeah, I do think this is the problem. How can we answer it? Because we're so.
Is JJ Watt a Hall of Famer?
Yes, I think he is.
Yeah.
Well, TJ Watt has won as a half sack more than him on the all-time
from different positions. Which is exactly what's incredible about JJ Watt, is that he was a sack monster
Aaron Donald
and a SWAT monster. I mean, they're just. Both.
That's true. TJ does those things. TJ has probably a crazy amount of interceptions for his position, crazy amount of bump force fumbles, definitely.
Yeah, and you've got to remember, it's not just about sacks for TJ Watt. For a slighter guy, he's not Alex Highsmith. He's not Myles Garrett's size, is he? He's a bit leaner. He's more athletic. But the way he impacts the run game is almost arguably better than his sack production. For me, I just think he's incredible. That backside pursuit where he's chasing down a running back from behind across the line. And the way he's punching out, and it's so exciting. And I love the guy. Don't get me wrong. I love the guy. I just don't. I'm not sure the season rests on him.
I'll say this, just because I know what you're saying about sacks, Gav. But when we talk about Hall of Fame arguments, I mean, if he hits a certain mark, he will go in the Hall of Fame. Is the reason that I'm looking at the sack number. It's irrelevant what position he's at. He will just go in. Yeah. And looking at the list. Every single person that's eligible, obviously you've got Terrell Suggs and Von Miller, who are not yet. Terrell Suggs surely is eligible, right? When did he finish? 2019?
Feels like.
I guess it's maybe Okay, well,
He's got
anyway.
the Super Bowl as well. That's the other thing.
He'll be coming up. Von Miller, it obviously isn't eligible yet. He's on the list already. And then every single person, the first person you get to is Leslie O'Neal. 1986 to 1999, 132 and a half sacks. Isn't in the Hall of Fame. Interesting. Cam Jordan, 132 sacks. TJ Watt, 115. So with 10 more sacks, he'll be in the list where basically everyone is in the Hall of Fame, except one guy. I don't know if anyone knows the reason for that. There's a couple dudes there, but regardless, this is a list where almost everyone who hits about 125, 130 sacks is in the Hall of Fame.
So it's an important season. It's an important couple of seasons for TJ.
Important
and his
for 2
legacy.
seasons, to kind of just finish up and wrap up his Hall of Fame case for sure. And a Super Bowl, by the way, would invalidate all that. Obviously, I mean that'd be
it.
He would get there. Yeah.
Although Eli won 2 of them, and but
he's getting in. He's getting
in. Maybe.
Although they've changed the field is smaller right now. There's less.
Seems to be right.
Less play. No, there is
Only
definitely
5?
less players.
Yeah.
So
well, I know they had the special Centennial one, right, where they let in like a bunch of people to get rid of the backlog.
Yeah.
But was it always long
I think they've
before
shrunk
that?
down to. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think they've shrunk down to 6 plus some legacy dudes now. So it's way smaller. I mean, I love the ceremony, but it's going to be a lot shorter now.
Yeah.
Which is maybe good. I mean, it's
Yeah, probably.
I think it should be. I think the bar's raised basically to get in now, and I do believe I think he should get in. I do, but I don't think he's first ballot. I think he's going to be one of those ones where there's a bit of a question, a little bit.
Interesting. Yeah, maybe
just because of the competition.
It's going to be annoying when Myles Garrett gets in.
Yeah, unfortunately,
he's going to be the whole thing.
He's ahead of him, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. As much as we don't want to admit it, and PFF were right all those years. Were they? I don't know. Were they right? I don't know. But
just going to put it out there, Si. How the hell is Leslie O'Neal not?
That's what. I don't know the story of these 2 guys. There's 2 dudes here in the list.
There doesn't seem to be any issue.
John Abram
with him.
Abraham should be in.
And he is in, or you saying, he should be?
Should be.
Well, he's not.
Exactly.
Apparently.
That's weird.
Okay.
He should be. I don't know much about O'Neal. Got to be honest.
Advocating for other guys here, but yeah, I mean, look at it.
Well, that would be a legacy. It's a different category. Anyway, we've waxed lyrical. So
yes.
Yeah.
On down the list.
Well,
I think Mark.
Funnily enough,
go on.
Like I just did 5 there at TJ Watt, and I kind of alluded to what was happening at 6. You want to talk about pass rushers who played at Wisconsin and can punch a ball out and get sacks at will. Right next to Mr. TJ Watt there is young Mr. Nick Herbig, who is now Mr. Moneybags after this offseason and becomes incredibly important as well.
Okay, let's go.
For a lot of the same reason TJ does, but just from the other side of the coin, really. A fresh young talent just off a payday that's looking to, be worth that. Surely now this is the step up. He's been given this pay. Now is the time for you to get more snaps, and hopefully with this new defensive setup, that's going to come down the line here. So I'm incredibly excited to see how he works in this new system. And yeah, it feels like he should now be. It would feel almost criminal to give him that much money and have him on about the same amount of snaps that he's been on. Surely that number has got to go up. But every time he seemed to hit the field in the last couple of seasons, I think, he's been the one that immediately your eyes drawn to. And yeah, he is the one that you have to look out for. And under the tutelage of one of the very best to ever do it, yeah, I am. All chips in on Nick Herbig being incredibly important this season for the Steelers. So yeah, that's why I've got him at 6.
So I agree with everything you said there, but I have him down at 19th. And why that is because it's like a shared role between him and Watt. I think I agree with you. I think Herbig is the future. I was wrong in the draft coverage to say his arms were too short. He wouldn't be able to defend the run. We've seen him do it. He has been a fantastic situational pass rusher. And I'm hoping that this year he will start to steal snaps off Watt and become that threat that offensive coordinators are worried about and having to scheme against when he's on the field. Oh shit, there's that fast guy that can beat our tackle, no problem. I'm also incredibly excited by this 3 edge rusher look that the Steelers have been installing in camp where they've got Watt as rush end, they've got Alex Highsmith as sink end, and they've got Herbig lined up in that kind of mug look, like just somewhere along the line, just rushing the passer from wherever. Like you could put him outside, you can put him inside, and that is an awesome thing that, you know, Patrick Graham's going to do. You could, you know, drop some of your defensive linemen and still rush 4, but have 3 exceptional pass rushers coming at you, plus maybe Cam Hayward or maybe Keanu Benson. Very, very exciting. Don't get me wrong, I'm really, really high on Herbig. I think he's going to be an exceptional piece. But because he's kind of sharing importance with TJ Watt, I've got them both a little bit lower, because I think both, you know, if one goes out, if TJ, unfortunately, you know, let's not hope, bring up the prayer circle, light the candles. If TJ does injure something and Herbig can go, it's fine. If Herbig doesn't perform and TJ's the man, it's fine. So that's kind of where I'm coming from with this exercise. Because they're both good, they're both not quite as important. Is that fair?
Yes, I think I actually agree with you. I've got Nick Herbig at 14th. Much to everyone's chagrin, surprise.
Wow.
Because I think I genuinely agree. I mean, I just don't think. Look, again, this is not the list of the best Steelers. That he'd be first on that list. We all understand that. Nick Herbig is just—it's not on him really. Look, we're all hoping for a huge season. I think he could be the cherry on the pass rush and cake for this defense. You know, let's hope that he goes out and produces a real. I mean, he's had the breakout season. Let's hope he has the breakout. You know, he's a national name. He's the next TJ Watt breakout season. That'd be amazing. But is he really the arbiter of the success or the failure of this defense? I think on a down-to-down basis, especially, I think probably not. And so I've struggled and ultimately haven't, and I guess we'll get to it because we're not all the way down to 14 on the list. I've still got both TJ and Alex Highsmith above Nick Herbig, just in terms of team importance for right now. That will swap by next year, but let's wait and see what happens. I think for now, those are my starters, and those are the 2 guys that I'm going to stick with. As on a down-to-down basis, it's just most important that their run defense is up to scratch, that they're not giving up mistakes, that they're... Do you know what I mean? Like, for me, Nick Herbig is still a weapon to be fired out of a cannon, and let's see where we go from there. But
right. If we were ranking best Steelers, I don't think first is legitimate. I think he'd definitely be top 10, right? He's most exciting. He's a prime breakout candidate, isn't he? He's ready to go. Like you say, he's got the bag.
Mark likes them young and thick.
He's not thick in this case, but he's ready to go. He's a weapon. It's exciting, you know. But as you say, the season doesn't rest on Herbig's shoulders.
I guess where I'm looking at it in terms of importance, and I totally get what you're saying there. I guess for me, it is TJ's importance is, can he get to the level that he was at previously? And Nick Herbig's importance is, if TJ doesn't, can Nick Herbig be that centerpiece? Because I feel like that is an incredibly important role. And I don't know whether that role diminishes in a new defensive system as well. You know, these are 2 guys who are turnover machines. And God, what was the old regime's number one thing? Rely on turnovers, like massively. So there might be a change in philosophy there, and maybe that in that way their importance does drop. But yeah, I just see it from the perspective of, if TJ is not TJ, then Nick Herbig really, really does need to step up, because otherwise you've got one half of your pass rush there that is not effective, and you can't just rest it on the shoulders of the other half, who are, you know, 2 very opposite players to those 2 guys.
Fair enough.
I just want to point out, Angus in the chat says Greg and Wes, rest in peace, on ATN had top 3 at their position consistently as their benchmark for the Hall of Fame. I mean, TJ Watt would most certainly fall within that categorization.
Yeah, for a decade, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the strongest argument for and why I think he is. But I would almost say, are we getting to... And again, you might be right about Gav about them shortening the field, but by that category, is there not... Would we not end up with too many? If, like, the guys that fit into that category, probably there's too many of them to get them in the Hall of Fame.
Well, no, not for their whole career.
No, I understand. I'm not saying... I get they're not saying 3 people every... But I'm saying, even by that standard, the amount of players that are one of the best at their position for a decade...
Well, let's track it. Sorry, I mean, I probably should pull this up on the stream, but I don't want to because I'll get confused with the spreadsheet. But this is where we need your screen as a little corner box. But what other... Obviously, Myles Garrett and him. What other pass rushers I'm drawing a blank here.
Yeah, the closest is probably Khalil Mack in the era. He's just below them, and he's clearly, I would say, behind those two. So it really.
I'm trying to think about sort of the late teens, like who was kind of dominant in the late teens period. Is it who was DeMarcus Lawrence? Maybe was he up there?
Who else made the list? I'm just going up because I was just
Von
looking
Miller
at
would be there.
Yeah, Von Miller was already up there. Yeah. But I would argue that was even a little bit before. Like, his peak was a little bit before TJ's.
But there was some overlap, right?
Yeah, there was overlap for sure. Yeah.
Suggs, as you said, there was some overlap there.
But when TJ was at his peak, he was better than Von Miller, and he was better than Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
What about Nick Bosa? Do you think he's?
Yeah, but he's not.
I don't know
right? Like, he's
about
not
Bosa.
TJ Watt.
He's been injury plagued, and he's got the problem that he gets confused with Joey. So it's sort of, I mean, that's no fault of his, but it's true. Like, you're never quite sure which Bosa you're talking about, which I think does dent his kind of legacy a little bit.
Cam Wake's career was just wrapping up in the first couple of years of TJ Watt. Like, these are the only guys that I think are even relevant to the Hall of Fame case.
Because I don't think Daniil Hunter's done enough, and he's kind of having a moment, but there's not. I mean, there's a lot of young dudes as well that are coming through. I mean, Edge is just so stacked year on year as new players come in, but
it's that top three position, isn't it? And consistently being top three. And I think I think Angus is right. You can argue that TJ's been that his whole career.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So Max Crosby.
He's a new one. Yeah.
Newer one.
Yeah. I forget he's only 28. Like, he's still got still got legs on him.
But then it depends. Like, what does whole career mean, right? Because currently TJ's in the
17. He was drafted, right? So in year 9, is it?
Yeah, and he's not in the top 3 pass rushers right now. So how long was he in that list? Was he in the top 3 in his first 2 years? I don't know. I can't really remember.
He did come out with a bang.
Yeah.
But yeah, in fact, the star has faded since the pec injury. I just want to shout out to Angus as well. We're just taking a little break here because otherwise it gets just talking about numbers and names forever. But shout out to Angus for bringing up the ATN. I mean, it's not the same since that podcast ended for me. I mean, I like the daily podcast. I don't listen to Heed the Call. I know you guys do. But it's like part of my NFL experience died when that podcast went away.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm more of a daily guy myself now than Heed the Call, if I'm honest. But even then, I don't listen to daily that much. It's all right. It's just
it has good shows.
Honest, he has certain people on that rub me the wrong way a little bit, and I will say I think it speaks a lot to me. Like Gav, I think this show in a way works, and maybe sometimes doesn't work, probably because of we go opposite directions in our sports fandom, right? Like I'm the Dan Hanzus of this group, right? Like that is the stuff I find funny, the stuff that he does and finds funny. That you love the Greg stuff of that podcast, right? And they were always at loggerheads on that show, really. I mean, not physically and not publicly and not even in a way that they weren't friends, but just in ideologically about like what the show it can be and is.
But that's the whole thing, right? Drama is conflict.
Yes, right. And that's what I mean. I think sometimes this show works because of that. And then other times there'll clearly be bits where it's like, you're not doing this or I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? So
and
I just think it's interesting.
Mark.
And my name's Mark. But I just think it's interesting that you've gone away and you just watch daily and I don't watch that all. I watch HTC. I religiously still watch HTC because I think it's hilarious. It's still, like, guys, and it's so sad now that you will miss all this stuff. Mark, so it was Justin Graver's wedding, right, this off season. Dan and Connor both submitted gifts, wedding gifts, right? But they didn't tell Mark what it was, and they accidentally gave the same amount monetary gift. So you can picture Mark Sessler is stressing for months, trying to figure out whether he's going to give more or less or the same amount wedding gift. And then live on the show, they got Justin Graver to admit that he'd actually sent a smaller amount than Connor and Dan did. And honestly, it's comedic brilliance, that show. I absolutely love it. So for me, that show, and don't get me wrong, if you only listen to the first season, which I think a lot of people probably did, it was finding its feet. They were still kind of trying to figure out what was going on, what were they able to do, what was the right feel for the show. For me, as someone who loved the humor of ATN, that's what this has now captured really well.
Okay, well, maybe I'll give it another shot. I mean, to me, I mourn the end of the Dave Damashek Football Podcast, and now I'm in,
I like Football America. I like that show.
Yeah, I do too.
I
It's
love- I
good,
love
but
it,
it's
yeah.
not the same as the because the ATN crew were on the Damashek podcast. Anyway, we've talked about this many times.
We love to wax lyrical about this era. This was this is what this podcast grew out of. I mean, I loved DDFP and I loved ATN so much that I wanted to make this show. I mean, that was what I wanted this show to be. So
yeah, shout out to Angus for bringing it up. We're happy to talk about this prospect, but we should move on with the show.
We should.
Si, who do you have? Wait, I haven't said my sixth, so maybe I should say my sixth. I'll say my sixth. Ran alluded to him. I talked about him earlier in the build-up. It's Jalen Ramsey. I know he's injured. I know it seems like the team's moving on without him, but I just think he's so important because he can do so much. I think he is a blue-chip player. I think he might be my favourite player on the whole team. Just seeing him live at Wembley many moons ago, you just saw the pure playmaking and the speed, the acceleration, the seeing the future. Incredible. And when the Steelers got him, I was so excited. And he's lived up to expectation for me. I know he's an older player, a little bit of the burst gone, but the fact you can do anything with him, the fact this defense with Patrick Graham is going to do so many things, be so versatile and multiple, and he is the linchpin. He's the sixth most important player. I think his fitness, his ability to go, really important. So yeah, sixth for me. Jalen Ramsey. Ran had him second. I can see the argument for that. I think he's more important than TJ Watt for this team at the moment, especially as there's no free safety.
Was that what Sojo not what Sojo obviously, but like when you saw him in person, was it that clear that he was like a different cat to other people in the field?
It was just like he's an Olympian and everyone else is a Champions League championship level player. He was just a different player. You're just like, oh my god. I mean, he got a pick six, I think, or a pick to win the game, but it wasn't just that. It was just your eyes were just drawn to him. It's like that guy is different. Like he is a different player. I think the Steelers are lucky to have him.
Makes me feel a bit silly, really, for having him at 13th.
But I think, especially with the thinness at free safety and how important he's going to be as he transitions to safety. Like, he slipped my mind. Jason's favorite player, the corner that went to safety. Help me out. He's on our legends. One of our.
Who are we talking about? Sorry, you've lost my.
The 90s. Anyway, we had an amazing corner that in the later. He's gone. He was an amazing player that was a corner and moved into safety at this back half of his career, as great corners often do. And I'm hoping,
too scared to guess.
Jason, help me out in the chat here. My brain's gone dead. But I'm hoping that Jalen Ramsey can be as impactful as he was later in his career. I need to look that up.
I'm looking at my list now, and I don't know. I'm looking at the few because I agree with everything you're saying, and I guess he is very important actually to this year's defense specifically. I'm looking at some of the names that I got ahead of him without saying them, and I think I'm maybe being lured by the potential of younger players and their breakout potential and how important that could be. Do you know what I mean?
Rod Woodson. Sorry.
Oh wow, Rod Woods. Okay. Now I feel silly for not guessing it.
I feel stupid for not having it on the tip of my tongue. Sorry.
It happens all the time. It was what we were saying the other day when I couldn't remember Jamar Chase's name. It's like when you've not been talking about some of these people for so long, especially with retired players, it's like your brain deletes them without telling you sometimes. Yeah, I'm thinking I've got some guys above him that maybe you could question, but I think I'm like hoping for breakout potential and that they're like, ability to outperform what they've done so far in their careers is going to be the difference. Whereas I think, like you suggested at the start of what you said there, that the team feels like it's moving on from him. I think I felt that a little bit. And so obviously he has, I had him last year where I
think it was it Angus in the chat earlier saying if good corners don't get targeted. I think that happened a lot last year. So maybe Ramsey didn't show up, but there was a couple of plays where it was like, oh, Ramsey didn't, because every game I was chatting to the people I was watching with, like Ramsey doesn't let a pass, and then occasionally he would, and they go, well, he did that. So
Do you have last year's list?
Sorry,
do you have last year's list?
I do have last year's list. Yeah, I've got all 6 years' list.
Do you see it?
I can see it here, yeah.
Do you know where I had Jalen Ramsey last year?
You had Jalen Ramsey at...
Can't find it.
No. Last year we did it before the trade.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right, that makes sense.
Yes, because I had a second list of what after the trade, what were the important things.
Right, okay.
We had Minka at a combined... Where is he here? Let me see here. He was... where is he here? He's here. He was 10th. Joint 10th with Highsmith.
Jesus, and now he's the 45th most important Jet.
Here's what I'll say to you, Gav. I'm sorry, Matt, to interrupt. Just very quickly, just question for you on that. What you just said. Do you think, say Jalen, touch wood, say Jalen Ramsey wasn't available, what would the defense look like with, if we slotted Brandon Eccles into a nickel position and tried to fudge the rest out of what we've got at safety? Would that be a huge problem?
A lot more predictable and thinner at free safety, and I think they're going to be struggling all year to come up with a good free safety, as I mentioned. Yes, we don't think of him as a free safety, and he's not like a deep centre fielder. He's so much more than that, but he can give you that. And why? Is because he just sees the future, and so he can play as as a strong safety or a nickel, but his ability to read the offense and drop into that free safety so that you don't end up with he can give you that over the top coverage from a cornerback position because he's so fast and sees and reacts so quickly that he can give you free safety looks without lining up at free safety. That's what's important.
Do you not think we saw last year a bit of a fall off in terms? Again, I don't know how old is
Okay, you're making me leave the spreadsheet.
Because I feel like last year we definitely saw a slight fall off in the superhuman level of his kind of speed.
We
and
did.
speed.
I think it was the change of direction that slightly started to fall off.
But specifically as it
he's
sort of
31. He's 31.
Right.
But I still think he's a superstar.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and definitely in the recognition part. But what I'm saying is he going to be as versatile as he traditionally has been, given that he can potentially make up as much from that cornerback spot in the deep areas of the field as he could in the past? Or are we going to be a little bit more restricted? Not that it's, the worst thing in the world. He's still going to be a great player, but, are we a little bit more restricted to having him play in that traditional free safety mold or in a traditional nickel mold or whatever you deem is more necessary for him in the moment, rather than kind of pivoting him around all over the place and using him like a chess piece? I don't know.
I don't think they will stick him at the back and leave him there. It's what they tried to do with Minka 2 or 3 years ago, where they tried to move him around. Minka wasn't really the versatile guy. Minka was a blue chip free safety, I think, and they did all that stuff with him down in the box, and it kind of backfired. I think Ramsey's the advantage you have with him is that you don't know what he's going to do. You don't know if he's going to drop, going to rush, going to cover the flat, going to stick with your man. And it just creates confusion. And no quarterback wants to throw at Ramsey, right? So, the quarterback's going to check where he is for sure on every play. So that's powerful. That's an advantage.
Here's the question for Ran, who's saying in the chat that he's going to be our version of Nicky Manwari. Does Patrick Graham, if this question piques your interest, did he have anyone like that in Oakland or in his previous spots? Did he have any history of playing like a versatile chess piece?
I don't want to speak for Ran, but last week he was saying that Patrick Graham was hamstrung by not having the players, having the players that he has. This is why it's a massive test for Patrick Graham. He's now got no argument because he's got the players. Most expensive defense in the league. No excuses.
Yeah.
Pressure. That's why I think the pressure's on Graham, actually.
I agree. Yeah.
Anyway, where did you have him? Because I haven't got.
I had him at 13.
13.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, and what did you say, Matt?
I had him at 11. I just found it funny that Si was saying that he was kind of looking at younger guys, like his number 1, Aaron Rodgers, and his number 2, Cam Hayward.
I just meant some of the couple ones in front of him that you could argue.
Yeah, and that's exactly where I was at with it as well. Probably spare TJ Watt, but I think that's exactly where my mindset was as well. But I've got him at 11. I still think he's very important for that secondary. Maybe not so much as JPJ, but yeah, he definitely has a good role, and he will be one of those guys that if he's not in there, you'll feel the impact of it, I think. So yeah.
I love the chat message from Kets. Ari Mark having Boswell 25th. Ask the Ravens how important their kicker is. I'm listening an hour behind. Kets, we've spoken about this.
Tyler Luke was mentioned again, banned from list shows for another 12 months.
Banned from listening to list shows while they're on, but an hour behind.
Reapply in 12 months. We'll see.
I
don't like your chances.
In an hour's time when you listen to this.
All right. Who's next, Gav?
That was my 6th. We've got all your guys' 6th. So I've got my 7th, but none of you have got 7. So who wants to go next? You can choose your 7th.
Oh, Gav, you give us a 7.
I did my 6th, so I don't want to hog.
I'll go for a 7. I'll go for a 7.
6, 7?
No. My 7.
Sorry, that was for the 6, 7.
My 7 is a different sound drop. I was actually going to say to queue up, but
And Mark fulfilling the Mark role on the podcast.
Yeah. See, Ketz isn't here, so yeah,
to be honest, Mark, that wasn't really about you. It was about Simon bringing up 6-7. So please continue.
Yes, but then continued on. No, sorry, I was going to say, can you get Kyle Brandt out as a sound drop? Because my number 7 is
not loaded on the soundboard, but
there he is. I love Jaylen Warren. Mr. Jaylen Warren.
Let me get through. I got about 5 pages of things here. Let me find it, boys.
Yeah. No, I still think Jaylen Warren is vitally important to this offense, particularly if the passing game isn't getting going. I understand that Rico Dowdle's in there. Maybe I'm a little bit too low on Rico Dowdle. I don't know, but Jaylen Warren has continually showed how important he is to this team with the impact runs that he can make. You only have to look back at that Detroit game last year and his impact on that to show just how dominant he can be in this Steelers offense. I still think he has a vitally important role to play in this team. And without him, I mean, you do have Dowdle there, yes, but Caleb Johnson we're still very unsure about. Unless Lou Nichols actually does burst out, we're not really sure. And I get with you might be doing with Riley Nowakowski and Eli Heidenreich potentially. But yeah, for me, Jaylen Warren is just so important to this team, just getting this ball down the field as much as possible. He's just such a dominant player. Yeah, really important to me. So that's why he's 7.
I agree with what you say, but it's all kind of muddied by Rico Dowdle and not knowing who the real running back one was. So for me, Jaylen Warren was 16th, just purely because if he goes down, you got Dowdle and vice versa. I'm not convinced either of them are a pure feature back, but they're both good backs. They're both explosive, both decent catching the ball. Both I'm worried slightly about the ball protection, but hopefully that's fine. So it's just like the same thing as like Herbig and Watt for me. Is like they're both good, they're both fine. If one goes down, I'm not too worried. I'm more worried about RB2 position, as in behind both of these dudes. Like I want like where's Chris Rodriguez or whatever? Where's the goal line hammer? Not on the team. Maybe it's Lou Nichols, but he's probably not going to make the 53. So I'm slightly more concerned about that. But
see, I would argue against that, but then I kind of tried to argue against that last year with Kenny Gainwell, and we saw what happened there with how great Kenny Gainwell was. So I'm not going to push back on that as much, but it's just, I just say, maybe I'm underrating Rico Dowdle a little bit here, but I just think Jaylen Warren is so electric that he would be missed in an offense. And yeah, he missed the Ireland game last year, and we still came out on top and did okay in that. I'm still very much on board with the importance of Jaylen Warren.
I like them both, and I'm glad they've got both of these explosive backs. I think it's good. They can change of pace each other, and they're both explosive, and defenses aren't going to be able to completely key on one because the other one's going to come in and do something slightly different. But ultimately, yeah, that's why they're a little bit lower, because there's two of them.
Yeah, I do, Mark.
I love Jaylen Warren.
But for the purpose of this exercise, I agree. It's his just in a top 25 list like this, his importance is diminished by having Rico Dowdle there. Now, I will say this. I do think Jaylen Warren is kind of like we said with Cam Hayward, a talismanic figure. I think when he's on, the offense rocks. I think he brings the power, and that's why I've still given him. He's actually a few spots above Rico Dowdle, who I actually think are basically even in terms of kind of how they're going to be used and the split and the position on the depth chart. Basically, I know obviously Warren is still occupying that one spot on the official slot right now, but I just think that they're going to be so 50-50. It's going to be such a committee back that, and honestly, I've been a little bit worried that this era of Mike McCarthy offense is going to favor Rico Dowdle. To be honest, has been kind of my concern as a lover of Jaylen Warren. That I've still got Jaylen Warren a few spots ahead of Rico Dowdle, but he's at 19 on my list.
Wow.
I also think we're going to be this is part of it. We're going to be a significantly more downfield open air offense than we have been any year we've done this podcast, and that also plays into it. I just think slightly diminished role, competition for snaps, slightly diminished like relevance of the position in the offense, all leads to like he's at 19 for me.
Do you think that's why they didn't go after a rock toter? Is that the running back position's a very specific role for Mike McCarthy?
Sorry, repeat the question.
Do you think that's why there isn't a beefy running back? Why there isn't a totem franchise rock carrier? Someone with some real heft. 220 plus guy on this roster that's you're going to give the ball to in a cloud of dust. Maybe it's Nowakowski. I don't know. I mean, do you think that's how McCarthy views running back, or do you think this is just bad roster construction? Do you think this is a plan or accidental?
Yeah, I think it is a plan. I think they like the committee of these two. I think they like the similarities and the differences. Like I think they are similar backs, but I think Jaylen Warren's going to. I think people are overrating a little bit some of what Rico Dowdle can do in the passing game, but I think they're also equally underrating some of the north-south running that I've seen him do and how creative he can be in the backfield.
Well, this is what I've needed to be educated on, right? In the Dowdle, I'm getting told that I'm underrating Dowdle. He surpassed Chuba Hubbard in Carolina last year, was great in Dallas, and I've just not been paying attention, is what people have been telling me. But I don't know. He had a breakout.
He definitely had a bit of a breakout year last year. Especially those 4 game stretch where he kind of supplanted Chuba Hubbard, and it all went the way that it did last year in Carolina. But we will see. I mean, look, the competition is there for Rico Dowdle. We'll see. Maybe he flops. Maybe it doesn't come off, and maybe by the end of the season we're talking about Jaylen Warren, because we know what he is and we know the kind of player that he is. Maybe we're talking about him having secured that position, and he really is RB1, and Rico Dowdle really is a clear RB2. It could be that way, but I just think that people are going to be surprised on both sides here. I think Rico Dowdle people are going to be surprised by how much Jaylen Warren can hold him off because he's his own player and a great player of his own right. I think there's some national people that think Rico Dowdle's going to sweep in here and just take this job. And then I think locals are going to be equally surprised that Rico Dowdle's got a bit more to his game than they expect, and it's not going to be just Jaylen Warren RB1 again. There's going to be a bit more of a competition here. So look, I think once again, commentators, the talking heads, us, we care far too much about who is RB1, RB2. I'm just happy. I think both of these guys are going to be really good for us. I think they're going to work together well. I think they're going to complement each other. I think it's going to be important. But I just, look, last year I had Jaylen Warren at 16, so it's not like he's even dropped that far, really. And it's just the running back ultimately is what it is, so... It's
a case of they've got lightning and lightning. And and they can spell each other and be more lightning-y, because they're less worn down,
lightning
less
and thunder, maybe.
No, there's no thunder.
It's
lightning and lightning. There is no thunder. That's what I'm saying. Right. Maybe Lou Nichols is the thunder. This is just double lightning.
Lightning and electrical cable.
Lightning strikes twice in this offense. The double lightning running back room. Let's just place Dowdle now. Let's talk about them both together. That saves a bit of time.
Well, funny enough, Si, you said you had Jaylen Warren at 19, right?
Yep.
That's exactly where I've got Rico Dowdle.
Ooh.
So I do have a space between them, but again, this could be just me underrating Dowdle a little bit. I think maybe I've been swung a little bit by just how much I loved Kenny Gainwell.
Very different cat, though.
Very different, and I fully understand that. But yeah, I guess it's just I want to see it first with Rico Dowdle before I go in a Steelers jersey, before I go too gung-ho about it. I get it. He had a very good season last year. But yeah, it just remains to be seen for me in that respect. But, if it is going to be a very split 50-50, then I'll see a lot of it. And hopefully he can turn me around. Gainwell certainly turned me around, so maybe Dowdle can do the same.
Well, I had Dowdle at 20, so I'm not far off. So we're feeling the same. Where'd you have him, Si? Oops, I put it in your column. Where'd you have him, Si?
Sire's just nipped for a drink, so
we won't know. Okay,
we'll find out. But if he's a few spots below Warren, I'm sure he's in the 25, but maybe
this is a warning shot. Si needs to build a bathroom or a fridge. Sorry, well, both actually, because he often disappears during the show. He needs to have a bathroom and a fridge closer to his podcasting station. I don't
think you noticed that I went away for a minute there. Did you?
I'd like to say I did, but no, I didn't.
There you go. Exactly.
Ran has wrote mini opus in the chat, which is deep into Patrick Graham. Perhaps we should get into that when we talk about the next defensive player. But he's going into how versatile.
He's a little snippet of his article by the looks of it.
Yeah, indeed. I'm excited for the article.
Very excited. And Ketz is still kicking about there in
And
the chat, even though he's an hour behind.
what's Ket saying there?
He's kind of commenting on Rand's
Oh
defensive.
no, he's saying free safety is free safety less important. I don't know, man. I mean, yes, there's versatility and being able to move players around, but you still need a player that can cover ground, has got good change of direction, and can read an offense and know what's happening and can direct things from the back. It's quite a skill being able to see the whole field and arrive at the place where you're meant to be when you're meant to be there. It's a difficult ask. Safety's a position that's kind of neglected, especially free safety. Seems to be always a glut of veteran free safeties, and that's because they've got the mental ability but not the physical ability that's waned. And yeah, it's a tough one. It's one I think it's undervalued personally. We
haven't moved on from Rico Dowdle, by the way, Si. If you've just come back in,
No,
it's just
I was going to ask if you needed the number.
About
so,
Rand's thing. Yeah.
So where did you have Rico?
I have him at 22.
22. Okay.
I was 2 off. Ooh.
Well, you haven't guessed at 20, did you?
I guess they're 24. I thought I might have him a few. Yeah.
Oops. Okay.
right.
I need to change that.
What I've been loving about this is that obviously as we do this, we tend to fill it up down the list because we all have different guys in different spots. But we really have varied this year. It feels like a lot. We've got people all over the spectrum we spoke about. We're jumping down to the middle of the list, to the top of the list, to the bottom of the list.
Yeah. Well, that was just because we sort of talked about both of them. We don't need to re-hit Dowdle. But,
where did you have Dowdle go?
I had him 6th. Mark had him 7th. Sorry. Sorry. That's points. Sorry.
Yeah.
I had him at 20th. You had him at 22nd, and Mark had him at 19th. So we're in the same ballpark.
Wow, so I am actually the Rico Dowdle
You're the Rico Dowdle
fanboy in this.
Down with Dowdle.
My goodness.
Right, back up to 7th for me, if that's okay. Or side, you want to do your 7th?
Go.
Let's do your
please.
7th.
Oh, okay. At number 7, so this is what I'm talking about with some of these young guys that I may be punting up here, and I think it's a big season for this guy. We're looking for breakout candidates. I'm talking about Derek Harmon. Last year, maybe underrated in terms of the national sphere, maybe even the local sphere. Do you hear many people talking about Derek Harmon?
I don't think the injury helped.
No, I understand, but when he was on the field, how important was he? How big was he for this run defense?
I'll tell you what, how important was he when he wasn't? Like, you noticed it. You noticed it when he went back off. So,
I thought he had a really encouraging rookie season. He's obviously listed as a starter now on the depth chart. I just think I'm looking forward to a second year Derek Henry.
No more Derek Henry.
Derek Harmon performance, and I think it's going to be very important. And if he could, like I say, I had Cam Hayward at 2, and I have Derek Harmon at 7, and I think part of this is like, how is this going to play out? Like how important is both of the how important are each of those guys going to be, and how important are they going to be together as a unit? It's exciting to see. I think a defensive line can be a big strength of this team if both of these guys show up.
Completely agree. I've got him at 7th as well.
Wow, didn't see that coming.
Well, if you looked at the thumbnail for the show, you would have noticed the players that I thought were important, and Harmon was on there, as well as Queen. Absolutely. And this is one of the reasons why Cam's down for me. I think this is Harmon breakout territory. My red star in the draft, absolute dominator. Yeah, I've got that drop somewhere. Absolute dominator, amazing against the run. He does need to work a little bit on his pass rush, but that's not his game. He is, you don't necessarily think of Cam as an out-and-out pass rusher. You think of him as a bull rusher. Who gets pocket push, decreases the space for the quarterback, stops any running lanes, and allows the edge players to get around and get the highlight plays with the sacks and the forced fumbles, right? But I think Harmon can be exactly that. His bull rush is good enough. It's getting there. I think he's, his rookie season, he's getting there. But now I think he's gonna be man body, super strength, experienced, fit, healthy, and I think the defense is going to run through him. He's going to shore up this line. He's going to allow Cam to be spelled and come in and make plays. So I agree with you. I think Harmon is super, super important. Mark, where do you have him?
I have him at 9. I'm basically around the same sort of area as you, certainly. I think he is incredibly important. As I say, like, you saw it when he wasn't on the field after he had, started a little bit. His impact was missing, and that's incredibly rare for a rookie to be able to do that sort of thing. So, in his sophomore year, you really can't afford him to have that much of a slump on that line. I'm really hoping for big things out of Derek Harmon in the second year. Hugely important to that run game, certainly that run defense.
Him and TJ on equal points. How we stand at the moment.
Wow.
It's quite telling. I'll put TJ ahead just out of deference.
Next to each other. Yeah, they are next to each other on my list, so I guess it makes sense. But it just hearing that as the conclusion is crazy.
Telling.
Very excited about Derek Harmon. I think it's important not only to obviously to the team, but kind of to the kind of to Omar Khan, right? And to the belief in the brain trust, it's important that we start seeing these first round picks that are coming out that we're seeing potential from in the early years, then go on to be, foundational stones of this team. And I think we've seen some good early returns, right? But let's see them crack on and really become, a team that contend for a Super Bowl. It's basically it's enough now of, wouldn't it be nice to have some good young players? Now it's time to have some players that are going to win a Super Bowl.
Is that where you are?
I mean, I don't necessarily mean as in these players need to win a Super Bowl this year. I'm saying these players need to show up and show that these are players that are capable not just of, playing at lunch, but of stealing the lunch money.
Do you think this team is a contender?
Yeah, maybe.
Because that's a long way. If you're saying they're close to being a contender, that's a long way from where you and a lot of people were at the start of this offseason.
We've had a lot of offseason to just sit and think and get hyped since then, Gav. And
but
everyone
is the
keeps
hype
telling
genuine?
me the Steelers are definitely going to go 7-10, and so I'm starting to get backed up in my little corner of well, actually, I don't know.
I mean, no one was particularly excited about the McCarthy signing when it first happened, but I think we've all seen that having an elder statesman, someone with a plan, maybe that's going to work. And, an expensive defense. They've got an exciting defensive coordinator. Maybe I'm starting to heat up a little bit. I've got to be honest. Yeah.
And and I keep thinking about how the roster is so good, and that nobody who keeps saying all these analytics tools and all these people that the Steelers are going to go 7-10 this year, 100%. I'm I kind of think this roster is a lot better than the Ravens. We just don't have the quarterback. So if Aaron Rodgers does have that season that Matt Stafford I know we're asking a crazy amount. It's not going to happen. But look, he's so cerebral. Maybe it could happen.
I mean, are we hoodwinked? You look in your, we're in some fantasy drafts right now. Aaron Rodgers is the 32nd quarterback getting taken, right? I mean, he's way down.
That's fantasy, and I'm trying to take it away.
It's different. It's different. But obviously, he was the number one quarterback in his prime, right? He was people. There was the argument: should you take a quarterback first? And it's Aaron Rodgers, the one you're talking about. So clearly, way over his window of being the best quarterback in the league. But is he enough to drive this offense with this, the most expensive defense? Should we be more excited than we are? Is the question, I guess.
I guess it's cautious optimism, is it?
I think we're as excited as we need to be.
Yeah. How many years have we been cautiously optimistic? I guess. But Aaron Rodgers obviously is about as athletic as a certain British stag goer in Barcelona a couple of years ago.
That was a solid performance, I'll have you
know. Whole solid
one car evaded successfully in the middle of the road.
But yeah, I guess. I don't know. I'm just trying to be. I like the roster as it is, but I'm just trying to also put on a neutral hat in some aspects and look around the league.
But Matt, I mean, you consume as much NFL content as me. You're feeling this, right? The general consensus is that the Steelers are to be overlooked this year. There's not even even in the AFC North, they're kind of a distant third. They're not even viewed as and I think that's because they've lost the kind of the safety blanket of the Tomlin era, right? They've lost this idea that, well, they're automatically going to go 8 wins, 9 wins because Tomlin's. People are kind of soft predicting the downfall of this Mike McCarthy experiment in year one. And I think what we're and to be honest, Gav, you've gone a long way of convincing me this. I think you've been probably the primary reason that I've kind of been slowly coming around on this, is that I'm just very excited about what the Mike McCarthy offense might offer with this great roster that we've built. And hopefully the quarterback isn't the thing that holds that back.
I mean, on paper, the defense is better, like a higher paid, new exciting defensive coordinator. But doesn't this feel quite balanced? Like, both sides are pretty good. I'm excited about the scheme on offense. I'm excited about the scheme on defense. I'm excited about the potential of some of the players on offense if things work out. Like Pittman comes good, and Nowakowski, and some of the Weechan on special teams. There's some elements here that if they hit, then I could see this being a playoff team, easy, like having a run. Like I'm on board.
Team certainly. Like, I think you can. Playoff run is the other question, I guess.
Well, that's the hump, right?
Team, yeah, it's getting over that hump, and I'm still. I don't know if it's just PTSD at this point, but I'm still a little bit like, oh, can Aaron Rodgers actually get us over that hump? And can the team come around and do that as well?
Rand's asking who built this roster. This is Khan's roster now, isn't it?
And that's kind of what I'm saying, really, when we started this conversation of talking about Derek Harmon and those type of players need to be showing that they are Super Bowl caliber players. What I'm really saying is that the Omar Khan era is here, right? And we need to be starting to judge it on the Omar Khan nature of the picks and the Omar Khan construction of the roster.
The free agent players, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we still I think because we've still got the Cam Haywards and we've still got the TJ Watt. We're still living in this Kevin Colbert era. And I wish Ketz was here this week actually, because I wanted to talk about Kevin Colbert.
Kevin Colbert,
being a Hall of Honor. Yeah, I wanted to get Ketz's thoughts on that. Maybe in an hour he can let us know. But this is not Kevin Colbert's roster anymore. There's a couple of bonus players in there, of course, still that are still holdovers. But for the most part, this is. Definitely.
I think the evidence is enough that the man can draft a cornerback, which Colbert could never do. So he's got the edge in that department.
And his first round picks have been a bit better, to be honest, as well.
Right. Yeah, they're not tied down by this. Oh, it must be a Power 5 guy from these 1, 2, or 3 teams, and it's got to be this size and coached by a coach we know and trust. So,
I think
because his first round pick of doing that was that, and look where he is currently. So
I know. I think we entered the realm of the early years of this podcast, the latter years of Kevin Colbert era. We were kind of entering this point where Kevin Colbert was a bit of a dinosaur. Let's be honest. He was doing things in a way. He was operating a scouting staff. He had, like you said, Gav, certain specific thresholds for position, and we still have those obviously, but I just think they were very restrictive. They were very 80s 90s old school. Like, a lot of the league had moved on, and I think you were starting to see it when some of those picks that we were like Terrell Edmonds, like, you know what I mean, like they were coming from a weird
Artie
place,
Burns,
right? Yeah, they were. It was like, wow, we desperately need this position, so we'd screwed in terms of need, and also we have this guy who won't draft anyone that isn't specifically like 7'2" with a wonky leg and an Irish accent, so we've got to take Dre Archer. Do you know what I mean? It's just like a complete mess. So anyway, but all to say, I think I'm glad he's in the Hall of Honor to Ketz. I think he deserves it with some of the the early the early and most of his career, but just those last years.
Yeah, it's a weird ownership that seems to want to move on from some things too early, like James Harrison, but then generally hold on to some things too long, like Colbert, Dick LeBeau, Mike Tomlin. Yeah, like former greats where there's suddenly now 100 and like their ideas are well outdated and they haven't got the answers for the modern stuff. Sorry, that's just the way the league is. Like, things move on, things change. You need new people.
To win a Super Bowl, you need an elite unit and 2 average units, according to Ran. How far are the Steelers from that? Well, so the argument, I guess, would be that the defense needs to be the elite unit, right? Is that fair? Because I think if that's the case, then you're already there.
Yeah, and you need, well, that's what I'm saying. The defense could be an elite unit, and Mike McCarthy has got a few card tricks up his sleeve, hopefully, that can hoodwink a few defensive coordinators, and that combined with a special teams unit that's got one of the best kickers in the league, and that's why he's one of the most important guys. And some great weapons. Like, let's hope, as I said, Caden Weechan can actually get some hidden yardage, and then you start to get some momentum going and some belief, and then it's not just all the pressure mounting on TJ Watt every game to come up with a couple of turnovers because the defense ain't producing without him. Right, let's carry on with the show after that brief intermission. I enjoyed it, but let's move on.
I was going to quickly say, hopefully it's Mike McCarthy playing chess instead of Matt Canada playing 52 card pickup
with his butt cheeks.
So,
yeah,
exactly.
I think he was playing like that fruit game that 2-year-olds play on those big fat iPads that look gross.
and still losing.
Matt Canada was playing solitaire. Like he's playing a game just by himself.
That kind of doesn't understand the rules of solitaire.
Oh my god! Oh, did you see? I know we need to get back on the list, but I think it was a couple of weeks ago. Somebody, a Steelers fan, did this TikTok trend of like me getting ready for an interview, my Netflix documentary.
Everyone sits down, they play the silly music.
One of them did. Me ready to talk about the horrors of watching a Matt Canada offense.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Did you see that Calvin Austin commented saying, "When do I get my chapter in it?"
Jesus,
Loved it.
God bless CA3, ruined.
Oh, missed him.
Wow, look
sorry,
at you on
where are we
TikTok
back in the
trends,
list?
Mark.
Yes.
Holy
Oh
crap.
yeah, no, I saw that one and that was hilarious.
we're still waiting for our TikTok account to actually exist. Like that's just if you're out there and you're like a TikTok czar, please, like we need some TikTok presence. So just hit us up. Like many people have tried and they've not produced.
Yeah, I'm still whipping and nay-naying over here, so I'm well out. So
But anyway, enough said. Anyway, right? Who? I think we're up to 9th.
I've done my 9.
You've done your 9.
Has everyone done their 8? I think everyone's
I've done my
I've
8.
done. I forget.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it. I'm on 9. Yeah.
Yeah, 9. Go on, Si. Who you got 9th?
At number 9, I have a Mister, and you'll like this, Gav, Darnell Washington.
Ooh, that's high, but I like it.
Mount Washington.
Yeah.
I was waiting to see if anybody was going to get around here what Mount Washington. I thought it might be you, Gav, because kind of what we've been speaking about these guys that are pivot points on their units, and I think we saw, as you said, Darnell Washington went down last season, and he very much was one of those. Bit of a Jenga piece. We've seen him really break out into, if not, I think the struggle with Darnell Washington from like a publicity angle is that I don't think he's probably ever, maybe I could be wrong, going to be a fantasy darling kind of tight end. I just think he's not like a what's the word? A volume hitter, right? Like he's kind of a specialist guy, obviously an elite blocker, could almost be a tackle, a physical unit, can catch the ball as well. And we argued last week about, does he rumble downfield? Does he whatever? Like, does he have yak? But Darnell Washington is so important to what this team wants to do in their big heavy sets and get rolling him out. I'm hoping that's going to be as important this year as it was last year. So I've still got him up here at 9. I'm interested. Do you think I'm overrating Darnell Washington by putting him that high?
I had him higher and I moved him down. And part of the reason was I wondered if it was last year's thinking with a new offense with more multiple positions. Now, I still want Darnell to be important. And the other reason why I think he is going to be important is because the right side of the line is unsolidified. So the strong side, he's going to be important for the run. I think, if we've got Cook on the right side, I mean, he was playing left last year at points, right? Playing right. You've got Brojo playing right, or you've got Ihanacho. All 3 of those dudes aren't the best against the run. They're all better natural pass catchers, pass protectors at the moment. Yep. So they're going to need help on that side. And Darnell Washington brings that ass whoop, the blocking, the run blocking on that side. So I do think he's important. But I was just a little bit shaken to see Pat Fryermuth as tight end 1 on the depth chart. So that shook me a little bit.
But I don't think that matters, though.
Well, we always have this argument, but
you.
I do think it matters from a personnel point of view, because I think Nowakowski is going to get some rub. As I said at the start of the show, I think he's important. I think Nowakowski is important for the multiplicity and keeping in 12 personnel, so that you can now Darnell Washington. Yes, he can catch some balls, but you're not moving Darnell Washington to fullback. You're not moving Darnell Washington out into the slot to catch passes. You're going to leak him out, sure.
Yeah,
but he's not that multiple piece. Fryermuth's more of a multiple piece. So I think you're looking at I think in an ideal McCarthy world, you're looking at Nowakowski and another tight end. I think that's what he lies about, thinking about when he's smoking weed in the mountains, ringing bells. I think he's looking at a fullback that can catch and block and pull, and then one other tight end. So and here's a little look behind the curtain. Fryermuth didn't make this list for me. So
I knew you'd pull some bullshit like this.
it's not bullshit, man. His star is fading for me. But
he's still listed as Titan 1.
I know, and that's why I was like, literally that depth chart came out, and my first response to you in the chat was, Frymouth Titan 1? I just couldn't believe it.
No.
So,
he's such a Muth denier.
I can hear the Penn State jersey burning in the background.
I've got it. I wore it a couple of weeks ago with pride, but I did buy it out as an apology. But I think that apology now, I think Muth owes me an apology. Right? Because what has he done, honestly? And Washington's a better tight end. I'd like this offense to be Nowakowski in Washington, but I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a rotation.
He's a progress blocker.
A little bit. And
come on.
So again, although Muth didn't make the list, I think Muth takes a bite out of the Washington sandwich. So I've got Washington down at 18th. So I still think he's important. I want him to be a massive part. He's one of my more enjoyable players to watch on this offense. When he's rumbling, is there better? I mean, since Vance McDonald's play, Washington's had 5 of those plays, so we don't remember it quite the same way. But we saw the difference when he went out. Like the man moves people, and when he runs, he blocks people. So I'm a big fan. But yeah, down at 18th for me. Mike, where you got Washington?
I have him one spot ahead of that. I have him down at 17th. He's incredibly fun to watch, and I love watching him. And if this was a best Steelers players list, I think he has a shout of being up there just purely off the back of what he did last year. Like, we finally got to see some of the very best out of him. But in terms of importance, I think with the line solidifying a little bit more, hopefully in that respect, and pass catch, the wide receiver room kind of broadening out a little bit. I do think his role becomes a tiny little bit more diminished, but at the same time, like, I'm very excited to see what he's going to bring. Muth is on my list. He's just on the list, I will say.
Mhm.
But yeah, I've got Nell at 17. I still think he's somewhat important to this team.
Now, I could be wrong in that Washington could become a red zone weapon, and in that case.
Which he should be.
He should be. I mean, you'd think he would be, right?
The most obvious thing in the world, isn't it? But,
so it could be that he's scoring all the damn touchdowns for this team, in which case he becomes very important. So I could be wrong, and I hope that's the case. But
should just be taking it in Wildcat and just bombing through, to be honest.
Touchdowns are overrated.
Well, yeah.
No, that's why you want to do it. You just want to aim for him so it's 3 and out, and then Boz has to kick it through, so you can just
he just wants the
Boz
field
agenda.
goals.
Yeah.
We'll come back to this Boswell thing later in the season, right? Okay.
All right, what's the next one?
Who's this in the chat? Still Matic Honda. I've got a question for you. How important is Boswell? Would you put Boswell in the top 5, or would you put him down at, where did you have him here? Like 17th or something.
Don't let Gav lead you on this.
No, exactly. If you were listing the conceit of the exercise, if you're joining us late, is that we're listing the top 25 most important Steelers to the 2026 season. Take that how you will. Gav thinks that Boswell is number 2 on that list.
We do
you
not
can decide if he's nuts.
Okay, we move on. Right, where were we? So I have we've jumped way down. Okay, 10.
I'm at 10. Yeah,
10.
10. We were just at 9, so that's the usual jump of 1.
Okay, all right.
10 comes right after 9. I could do my 10 if you want.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
One, Mr. Zach Frazier at number 10.
Nice
he is starting to really solidify himself in that position, and the national media are paying attention to it. I think, to be fair, I think they've really paid attention to him all the time, and I just think he's that good. I mean, he's had such an impressive rookie campaign. Still did well last year as well. Yeah, he is still amongst people's top centers in the league, really. So it's another year of that. He's a guy who's going to have one eye on a contract situation coming up after this season. So very important for him personally, but from a Steelers standpoint as well, the real linchpin of that offensive line is going to still need that real good connection with Aaron. So yeah, I think he's definitely top 10 important in this Steelers roster.
Yeah, it's always kind of hard to decide what to do with the center, especially in this era of now suddenly having a good one. And after we went through that kind of bit of a messy situation after the Marquis Pouncey era,
we're back to having a good centre again, where the Steelers should be. Yeah.
Right, a consistent, great top 5 in the league, whatever you want to say, centre who's just getting better every year, and he's gelling with his quarterback, hopefully for another season here. So, to be honest, as I say, I struggle with what to do with this, so I kind of end up just whacking him in the middle, I think, kind of as he is in the offense. Because I think, to Gav's, ideological standpoint, you could argue that he's third, because if he's snapping the ball all over the place, like, what's his name? Little Tits over there. What was he called? What did we do? We sent him to the Rams. What was he called?
With the
little fella.
Dotson.
No, not Dotson.
No,
the little fella.
Wee Willie Lampkin.
No, not Wee Willie Lampkin.
No, what are you
our little fella. Gav, do you remember our little fella?
Do you mean the dude that snapped the ball over Ben's head in the playoff game? And I cannot remember his name.
It was
Mason Cole. It wasn't Mason Cole, was it?
No, the little fellow. He couldn't stand him.
Kevin Green. Kendrick Green. Was that him?
Quick?
No, he didn't snap the ball up. Was it him in the playoff game?
Yeah,
no, that Pouncey did that.
That was Pouncey. Well, that was Pouncey's last game. That was when Ben and Pouncey sat on the bench looking all sad because they knew it was all over, and they had that.
Kendrick Green went to the. Did he go to the Texans?
I thought he went to the Rams.
Wasn't he a fullback for a second?
Dotson went to the Rams.
No, I know Dotson did, but I could have sworn
Dotson was on the Anyway, we're getting off the point here.
We're totally getting off the point. Kendrick Green. I forgot his name already.
I've got Zach Fraser at 11. And I'll tell you why, because this line needs some cohesion, right? You've got Fautanu moving from one side to the other. You've got McCormick switching from one side to the other. You've got Spencer Anderson coming in from playing tackle eligible to playing guard. And who knows who the hell is playing right tackle. So you've got one player that's playing the same position. And that's the most important player on the line in terms of communication and protection and the handoff and the snapping the ball. This offense is now going to be running, if we're looking for what's been going on in training camp, loads more under center, play action, disguising the looks. We're not having shotgun passes. That handoff exchange, really, really important, massively important for Frazier. And we like Frazier. He's a point of attack weapon in the run game, got that torque, move players about, can create gaps. So, yeah, important. So I've got him at 11.
We do like Zach Frazier, don't we now, Gav? Yeah.
I do. I turned around. You were massively high on him in the draft. I thought he was undersized. You said he was a wrestler. I shouldn't be worried. You were right. Well done.
Never doubt a wrestler. Never doubt a wrestler.
All right.
Where'd you have him, Si?
What did I say? 15.
Okay. So
did you argue could be higher? Maybe. I just never really know what to do with that. When we got a good center, I'm like, it's so important, but like,
it's also center. I get it.
Yeah, it's like, what do I do with
it? Any other 10s?
10, yes. I've got a 10.
Oh, he's high. Fraser's high. Okay, good. Go on.
You ready for number 10?
I got it.
Yeah.
At number 10 this year, I've gone with one just sneaking into the top 10, Peyton Wilson.
Okay.
Interesting.
This is kind of a late surger. He would not have been this high on this list if we'd done it last week. But I just think that from what I'm hearing out of this week of training camp, that he is really being installed as like a very key piece in this defense, and that him and Patrick Queen are going to form this kind of very core central 1-2 partnership in the middle of the field. I think it's just very important that we see improvement out of him. I think you could almost point to, and this, look, Peyton Wilson's had some great moments, and I think we all really like what Peyton Wilson can do as a guy who was he fourth round pick, who was drafted with, I think, like no ACL, right? Isn't he the guy with no ACL?
He is, yep.
Yeah.
He is, yep.
So like, I know we kind of had not low expectations because we liked the player, but you know what I mean? Our expectations were in check, and I think he's already at the stage where he's kind of meeting them / exceeding them. But we kind of want to see now, can he crack on to become a difference maker? Or is he still going to be kind of the piece in the middle of the defense that other teams are going to be looking to target, and we maybe have to game plan around his shortcomings a little bit? And again, that's not a dig on him. It's who he is where he was drafted. It's kind of the athleticism profile. It's all of that. But what I want to see, can he up his aggression level? Can he bring it this year? Has the game slowed down to a sufficient level that he can now go in with the confidence of someone who's going to bring the hit, rather than the the tentative kind of like, let's miss a tackle because I'm still thinking about which direction I'm going to be heading in 2 seconds.
Is that where you're worried about the kind of lack of proper tackling going on at training?
Yes.
However, is there a concern there?
Well, I don't know that I'm so worried about that in terms of the decision that Mike McCarthy's making at training camp. I mean, I kind of agree with what he said when he said, if TJ Watt can't tackle, then you can blame me. But I don't know. We had, the thing is, we had tackling problems last year. We had tackling problems the year before, and we tackled in training camp. And I don't know. To be honest, I kind of feel like these guys should be able to tackle.
Yeah, it's more for me is something that was on his college tape that hasn't really emerged yet on the NFL field, which was he was kind of an asshole in college, right?
Right.
He was jawing, he was in people's faces,
Yes.
he was kind of a dick, right?
He was confident. I think he felt like
Yeah.
the best guy on the field.
And I liked him for it. Like, don't get me wrong, but I think we need to watch out that he doesn't become like a Vontaze Burfict kind of character where he is drawing flags and you're hearing that he's turning up to camp with this new aggressive attitude. I think that's just him getting comfortable in his skin and becoming who he is.
Okay. All right.
So I like it and I want to see it, but I just putting it out there, like, watch out, like, let's be careful.
That's interesting. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
The other thing is, I love him north-south. Like, I love him going back, covering passes. I love him coming down. And you banned sideline to sideline as a phrase, but I and whether it's a knee, ACL, whatever it is, I'm yet to see it from him really. Like, but the reports are that he's looking like a every down player, and I hope that's correct. But we shall see. I had him. Where did I have him? Let's see here. Where did I put him? I had him down at 15, so I'm not too far off.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm at 14 as well for Peyton Wilson. So, I think I initially had him a little bit lower, but then remembering what the linebacker room looked like and thinking about the very best of Peyton Wilson, you can get a real aggressive guy there. So, I kind of bumped him up a little bit there to 14.
Again, some of these guys that appear a bit high on my list, I think a breakout potential guys where I'm like, if the game has slowed down for him this year, and he's the kind of player that I could see showing up, and it's like, whoa, hold on, this is a whole different player to the Peyton Wilson we saw last. Like, think about how quickly we moved on from. What was his name? The Derrick Henry tackle, the Patriots linebacker now.
Spillane.
Rob Spillane. How quickly we moved on from Rob Spillane, and we kind of thought we knew what he was when he left, right? And we were sad that he was leaving because he was a fan favorite, but I don't think we were too concerned really from a schematic or what it was going to do to our defense angle. And then look what he went and did with the Patriots, and we've seen that with a few players that the Steelers have let go. Kevin Dotson, I know all the different positions, but I just think Peyton Wilson is one of those guys that I don't want to see go away somewhere, and then the game clicks for him, and then he becomes like this really great, Pro Bowl level linebacker. Like,
and he's looking at a potential payday
of course.
in the near
so
future.
Let's see that this year. Let's see that breakout this year, and so we know what he is, and let's get him paid. If that needs to be the case, let's get him paid and go from there, rather than letting him slip out the back door and do it for someone else. That all sounded like an ad.
So currently, Peyton Wilson and they are Nick Herbig are tied.
Wow. And I did it. It's my fault.
Interesting. I would potentially say.
Mark. Sorry, but that was funny.
I would argue that Peyton Wilson's more important than Nick Herbig because the linebacker depth is not quite.
I have argued it.
Yeah. But okay, fine. We've skewed
That's
our
me
results.
skewing the numbers there. Ha ha
ha.
All right, 11s.
Well, no, I've got 10. My 10.
Oh, okay.
It's Michael Pittman Jr.
Oh, he's in.
He's in. I think this is important. Number 2 receiver. Without him, who is it?
Roman Wilson.
Jeremy Bernard.
Untested.
Ben Scorer.
That little Max Hillman.
Untested.
Max Hillman. Definitely not Cole Burgess.
Right.
Rest in peace.
Yes. This is
not rest in peace, but yeah.
a thin wide receiver core in terms of experience and just overall effectiveness, I think. We're hoping this is a Roman Wilson breakout, but I think having a quality number 2 receiver that can, force coverage, as I was saying earlier, force coverage away from Metcalf is really important. So I think this is a big money signing, a big free agent signing. I think they're lucky to get him. I hope he lives up to the potential, but I think he needs to perform.
Yeah, and probably the reason I've got him at 15, right in the kind of middle of the pack there. Yeah, I fully agree with what you're saying now. I do think he is not nailed on number 2. Well, is he nailed on to? No, maybe he is nailed on.
Oh, yeah, absolutely is. Who's number 2 apart from him?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I guess you just hear things coming out of camp, and I don't know. But yeah, I do think he's very important. Obviously, not to the level of a DK, but just yeah, we've been striving for having this number 2 for a good couple of years now. You know, since you had the brief DJ and Pickens 1-2 punch there. We haven't really had anything like that since, because Pickens had nobody as a real number 2. Metcalf in his first year doesn't have a real number 2. Now we finally have somebody there.
Did AB ever have was DJ the only number 2 he had?
When Juju maybe Juju was sort of.
I mean, my mind instantly went to, was it AB's rookie season when we had Mike Wallace still? That feels like the last time 2 genuinely dangerous receivers. I can't think of. I guess it was DJ. I mean, we thought Claypool was it, but he definitely wasn't it.
That rookie year of Claypool was
kind
phenomenal,
of it.
Yeah, but yeah.
Martavis Bryant, the Killer Bees era with Bryant and Brown. Maybe it was that. That was it, actually. Yeah. Brown and Bryant. Okay, fair enough. So we're talking 10 years ago. Apart from DJ, but DJ was like on the edge of doing it. He was a great route runner, right? But when he was at his pomp, he was dropping balls all the time, right? He wasn't a great catcher.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
this could be.
Yeah, I think this it's great to have this back now potentially. So, and with a player that we've really admired, and I think the Colts are sad to see go. So, yeah, I certainly think he's important. Top 15 important for sure.
Bit of a shocker, right? That they paid Alec Pierce. I mean, I had famously had Alec Pierce ahead of Garrett Wilson in my rankings in that draft class. Am I right? Can I clap back at that dude on Twitter for calling me out for having Pierce?
Not yet.
Not yet. But this is the year, right? If Pierce shows out,
let Pierce play on this.
Okay.
Yeah, let Pierce play on this money with whatever quarterback is thrown to him, and then we'll see.
We'll see.
What quarterback's throwing
to. Should I quote tweet him back from 2019, whenever that was, and go, "Who's laughing now, fuckwit"?
If you do that, I'll do it to the same guy that I said that Cooper DeJean was nowhere near a first-round quality player. I can just go back to him. But, yeah, there you go.
That guy's probably like on his deathbed. I probably don't want to do that.
Don't be petty, be pretty.
Yeah, right. I can rise above it. I'll just talk about it on my own podcast when he's not here. Okay.
Exactly.
Where have you got? Yeah, where did you got him?
I've got him at 17. I mean, I agree with everything you said. I don't know. Wide receiver 2 on this team has historically not been that important, and so let's see until that changes. Yeah.
Below Boswell.
Yeah.
For you.
One spot below Boswell. Does that seem reasonable to you?
So, yeah, I don't know. Mm-hmm. That means Warren and Pittman are on the same level of importance in our rankings. Okay.
I'll the lead
me skewing again, I think.
Number 1, Jalen Warren. I mean, he's 19 for me and 17 Pittman, so it's close.
Okay, Boswell still not appeared in the overall rankings. He's not there yet. Okay, let's move on. Right, let's see here. So I've got Zach Frazier 11th. Mark has Jalen Ramsey 11th. Who have you got 11th, Si?
Well, I've been kind of dreading this one because I think this is the one that I'm going to get clapped back on.
Ooh.
This is where I put Max Ahanacho.
Oh, wow. Is this Max Ahanacho the player or Max Ahanacho the right tackle position?
Well, it's a little bit of both because I don't have another right tackle here. So because
Dylan Cook's not in here for you.
No, because here's the thing. Look, if Dylan Cook shows up and has a league average season, that's great. I think what would be important to this team's success is if Max Ahanacho shows up and is a real first-round tackle. Now, we've questioned the likelihood of that given his quote-unquote rawness, but this week I've been empowered by the idea that he's looked great in padded practices and that he's holding his own in first-team reps and that he's still been working with the second team, but that he's been looking great and that people are very enthused about the pick. And I just think that if that is the case, then as a first round pick, if they think he's ready to play, he's going to see the field sooner rather than later. I don't care whether Dylan Cook or Spencer, whoever else is arguing that they should be the right tackle at this point is there. I just think that Max Hanacho's going to see the field, and that'll be sooner rather than later, probably more than half of the season. And if he's a great tackle in his first year, that's to me super important. And again, I think sometimes maybe I project out a little bit further than the season more than I should on this list, but that seems important to me.
I'd say probably next year. I'd say he's a developmental tackle. Let's give him time to develop. I think this is a fluid position.
That's what we were saying 2 weeks ago. Again, maybe training camp reports are filling me up with beans, but I'm hearing that the guy's great. I'm hearing the guy's ready to go.
Yeah, and but that's just positive. Look, people saying, "Oh yeah, he looks like a rookie that's got some potential." Let's not get down on the rookie.
That's not what I'm hearing. I'm not hearing a rookie that's got potential. I'm hearing guy that's ready to go. Everybody's called him raw, but sometimes I think with that, is that just a thing that starts to roll? Like someone says it one day because he hasn't played much football, right? And then someone kind of glamps onto that, and that becomes kind of like the second line in his bio for all of draft season. But what does it really mean when he shows up in Latrobe and he's there and he's standing? Like if the guy can block the guy in front of him, the guy can block the guy in front of him. He can be as raw as a steak that's uncooked. As far as I care.
Sure. But if let's say he's not ready to go, they've got Cook, they've got Brojo.
I understand.
I think they're okay.
But how important is a league average season from a journeyman versus
if he hits, it's huge.
Right.
But he's not necessarily known for they've been working on his strength, they've been working on his run blocking. It's not like a
just remember who was all in.
Yeah, okay, you're all in. All right, yeah, fine. Okay, this is smoking your own weed kind of thing. Fine. Mark, where you got Ihanacho?
I haven't because I have no rookies in my top 25. I
knew I'd get this.
I tell you what, I don't know what it says that I have the left tackle at number 2, and I don't have either right tackle in the top 25. But I guess that's just the way I'm viewing it. But yeah, I think next year for Ihanacho, he could be very high on this list. But
he's locking down right tackle from week 3.
No, and I hope that's I'd love that to happen.
That'd be unbelievable if that's the case.
I'm with Mark. They've got 3 guys that could fill this role, plus Spencer Anderson in a push. So it doesn't feel like Max Ihanacho is vital for this team's success this year.
But I also knew you two wouldn't put him on your list, so I'm quite glad that he's going to be pumped up.
Plus, I've heard that he still has work to do with his hands, but otherwise a very good camp. But
he just needs to get his technique down, but he's got all of the traits. And...
Damn, boy, he's thick, boy.
Oh, not this. I played that one just before the show a couple of days ago, and I didn't realise how long it was, and it just kept going and going.
Damn, boy!
No. No.
But will you stop talking?
Right. I believe next is 12 for both of you. So who wants to go?
I'll go if you want. One Mr. Alex Highsmith.
Ding, 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 ding. Me too.
There we go. Look at that. There we go. Very important role for Mr. Highsmith. Obviously, as I say, there is a certain part of this fan base that, for whatever reason, is low on this man. I'm guessing it's availability is the key issue at the parts with Alex Highsmith. But when he is available, goddamn, he's a good player, isn't he? He can really, really impact games, and just being that kind of yin to the yang of TJ and Herbig, I guess. He is still vitally important. But yeah, as I say, maybe not in my eyes as important as the other guys, and I'm sure there'll probably be some argument about that. But I still think he is, a very important piece in this Steelers defense, certainly. And still has a lot that he can put on the table for the Steelers. So yeah, I'm definitely not in one camp, but maybe I'm not in the camp of he's more important than a couple of the other edge rushers on this team. But for anyone who has Highsmith higher, please tell me why.
Yeah, I skipped over this. Missed it. I had him 9th. That's my fault for not seeing that we'd skipped him. That's because my list is already filled out and your guys is getting filled out as we go. It is sacrosanct. The one on screen is sacrosanct. The one, and I don't fill out. Anyway, don't get into that. I skipped it by accident. Didn't mean to. I think Highsmith is very important because we've seen that TJ and Herbig are interchangeable in to a certain respect. I think Highsmith has got to lock down that sink end, the kind of slightly less pass rushy, more run defense, more edge seal, kind of strong, push the pocket kind of outside linebacker the Steelers tend to use. And I think he's the rock now. This is his peak. This is his prime. I think as long as he's stable, not injured, good to go, performing well, the rest of the line should be good to go around him. He's like the rock, that the fulcrum point that everything swings around. So I think he's pretty important myself, and that is reflected in the fact that he's just jumped ahead of Zach Fraser with our scores. So that's good.
I love that Alex Highsmith is like the figure of consistency. I didn't even realize, but I had him at 12 last year. And looking back, and I have him at 12 this year. And I think that's true to his career. I mean, he's been very consistent. He's had obviously a couple injury mad years and well, more sections than years, but he's been a real figure of consistency on that line that's held that down for a long time now.
Yeah, I don't get this. Why do people want to trade him? Is it because he's not the sort of super bendy edge guy? Is that why they don't think he's exciting?
I think the injury concerns as well. He's I think that kind of plays into it. But then if he's a very injured man, how much trade capital are you going to get back there? But I don't know. Maybe there's those elements as well.
I mean, nobody was running Bud Dupree out of town, and Alex Highsmith clears Bud Dupree by orders of magnitude.
Is it draft pick status, athletic ability? Like Bud Dupree looked great getting off the bus. He was like the predator.
Yeah, looked great sat on that couch too. You know. All right.
I will say, we're almost approaching Saturday, so maybe we.
All right. Let's.
No, I'm just saying. Yeah.
All right, who's slowing the show down now, Mac?
Okay.
All right. Okay. Let's move on. I do have to work tomorrow and get up horrendously early. Okay. So at 12, I had TJ Watt. Mark had Alex Highsmith. Who you got, Si?
Alex Highsmith.
Okay. Failed to do my spreadsheeting there. Okay. But the points dictate that. Okay. At 13, I'll go with mine. Again, it's another lineman that I think needs to bring consistency, and it's Mason McCormick. I think particularly important that the interior of this line is solid, given the change at tackle. Mason's moving over, but I'm hoping that the phone box play will translate. Solid player, maybe, guards, generally kind of forgotten men on the team. But really important, especially for the run. And, if we've got Spencer Anderson at the other guard spot, then you kind of want one of your guards to be more experienced in and sort of set on what they're doing. So I just think it's important for the cohesion of the line for McCormick to be good this year.
Yeah, I get that. I think he was a bit higher when I initially started this line, and then just more people sort of got in the way of him, I guess. And that's where he's ended up 23 for me, which doesn't feel high, but he's still in this top 25. Because, he's a key piece of this offensive line. And, especially with not knowing what's going on in that other guard position, as you say, I think to have one of your guards be solid in that respect is very important. But, just sort of fell down the list for other names here for me. So 23.
Fair enough. Si, where you got him?
Yeah, I'm the same. I think it's actually a good sign that so many kind of just names were there that I wanted to get ahead of some of the, because I think it's hard with these, especially these central linemen, where they kind of do a job as a unit rather than as individuals. But yeah, so he's fallen to like 24th for me.
Oh, 24.
But yeah, I think it's a good sign, to be honest, that there's just a bunch of names in other positions that I wanted to get there before I was getting to kind of the right and left guard positions. So it's not a knock on Mason McCormick, who's, of course, I've had a great career with us so far, and hopefully will continue to do so.
Been a great pick out of South Dakota State, wasn't it? I think it was. Yeah, so a smaller school.
Could he be the next South Dakotan Hall of Famer? Only the second after Adam Vinatieri was the first.
Well, let's hope so. That would be a great move. But I don't know if his career's quite on that path yet, but we'll see. Who knows?
Maybe he'll play till he's 45 and everyone will be like, wow. Yeah. Let's just throw him in.
I think he's been solid and slightly above average, especially given his draft stock. So
definitely,
he's on a good track so far.
And to be honest, just very quickly, those are the players that are the most valuable. By the way, the guys that you draft for nothing in the 5th round that are playing like absolute starters, like
they're the ones. They're the ones.
Moneyball. Yeah. Anyway, let's go.
Right, 13 from you, Mark. Let's go. Let's move the pace up here.
I am, of course, talking about Keanu Benton
Ah.
at number 13. Mainly because, this is... No, well, you groan, but...
It's not grown. It's just
this is off this is off the depth chart. Good lord. This is off the depth chart. This is a man who now looks like he's going to be playing in a position that is more comfortable for him, and therefore, hopefully now we can see even more of a push from him than we already have, which is very exciting. So I think that makes him very important. It's very exciting for me, maybe. But,
The way you said that sounded like you were trying to convince yourself.
No, I'm not convincing myself on this. I think he's a very important player in this defensive line. Of course he is.
No, I hope he is. I really do hope that he is.
Don't tell me not one of you hasn't got him.
Well, I tell you what. Listen. I list all the way to 30, and he was 29 on my list.
That's mad.
Right below Caden Wetjen.
Right.
Starting
Yeah, it didn't make the
defensive
list for me
line,
either. Sorry, Mark.
Unbelievable.
I'm so sorry.
Would he have made the top 30 if you did 30 again?
He might have done. I think he's a good player. I'm glad he's there. This rotation of D-line players is important. He's definitely part of it. I think he's really important for sub-package football, and maybe he should feature for that alone, in that he's important for that role. But he was on the list, and then he got sunk down the more I thought about things.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think that he's actually going to be moving into a position potentially that is more suitable.
Well,
to him.
this is it. Maybe this is the year for it, Matt. I mean, you'll be the one to win if we come back next year and he's done all our lists in the top 15 because he's had that kind of year and he's playing in this position.
And especially if Cam retires, then straight into the
yeah. So to be honest, I like this for you. I think you've found like a nice little niche here, and that you can come back and get a big win from this next year if he plays well.
It's like your Ianacho, I guess, this year. Yeah. So there you go.
And someone had him as some ESPN hack had him as the prime trade capital, right?
Or trade capital.
Wasn't it like something? If they could get a first round pick if they traded Benton.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, they had him as because they had a list of potential first round value players.
I don't see that myself, but I do think he would potentially be more valuable on a 4-3 team than on the Steelers. But I do think he's important for sub package football. I think he's a role player, and I don't think he's going to be. I think Harmon's vaulted over him in importance, as you've acknowledged, Mark. But it's cool to have these kind of like I don't know what you call them. Cult players, what do you call it? Like, I was on the. I liked them before they were famous, kind of thing. It's like me with Nowakowski. I'm big on Nowakowski. It's not disrespectful.
This is the disrespectful.
It's not disrespectful.
That you used to speak about Nick Herbig in. You've got to just wait him out, man.
It's not disrespectful. We all like the players that we like. Like that's cool. Like it's good. Like we've got our players. They're in our stable. Benton's clearly in Mark's stable.
Don't downgrade him in your stable, Matt. Don't put him in the basement yet.
Ride him hard. I'm not saying that at all.
Jesus. Good Lord.
Right, where were we? Okay, let's move on. Before we get lost.
ESPN are a gutless organisation, obviously.
Gutless, like cowards, like that Tony Fauci.
Absolutely.
Okay, I think we can jump all the way down to 18, where I have Darnell. Oh no, wait, 17. 17 is here. I've landed on 17. Sorry, I skipped myself again. Putting others first, as always.
Humble.
Oh yeah, exactly. Magnanimous. I've got Jamal Dean as quite important because. I mean, who else is, he's a big money signing. Asante Samuel's coming off a back injury. Who else is cornerback too? It's not, we need Ramsey for other duties. We like Eccles. I think Eccles isn't on my list, but he was on it for a bit and then he got shunted down. I think Eccles is underrated. I think he's a powerful. I think he's great in the red zone. Actually, I really like Eccles in where space is contested and there's not much place to move. I really like Eccles in those situations, and I like him kind of filling in. I don't really want Eccles outside though. And Dean is that outside guy that's meant to, if Porter is going to move around with the number one, then Dean needs to move around opposite him to take the other guy, to take the number two. So that number two role is important. If the guys, if Porter's just going to stay on one side, then you can kind of flip people in and about. But you need a guy that can flip the field and still be cool. So I think Dean's pretty important. So I had him at 17, and I just hope that this camp stuff that's coming out is just early rust that's going to get shaken off. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I hope that as well. I've got him at 24. Just about made the list. I do think it's important to have your potential outside CB2 on this list, especially if the worst does come to worse with JPJ. So yeah, as I say, hopefully it's just rust, and yeah, I'm excited to see him out there. I really am.
Last year, I had Darius Slay at 8th.
Jesus.
You
You retired Darius Slay.
I don't know, man. It was kind of important that he sucks.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. I don't think that was right.
But Jamal Dean, I have at 18th. He's the next player on my list that we've not mentioned. I agree. I think he's going a little bit underreported as well, as Pittman is. I think similar situations where just a veteran in there who's just probably not garnering as much attention as he probably should, given the role that he's going to be relied on for the next year or two. So, yeah, I'm high on the signing. Hope he can stay healthy. I know he's had some injury problems in Tampa, but he's looking good right now, I think, right? And he's gonna be huge. I do think that the reason that this group after Porter specifically have, like, Porter's 8th where Slay was for me last year, this year, and then the rest of the guys are all the way down here in the late teens and 20s, is because of the depth of the unit as a whole. I'm no longer as scared when one guy might go down that there's nobody there. And obviously, Gav, it's perfect if everybody's healthy and everything's available to us. But just looking at the room as a whole, like, the secondary is a lot deeper than it's been, and so it doesn't concern me as much, and thus it's not quite as high.
Okay. That's a good point. Sorry, where did you have him? Sorry, I was just doing a bit of spreadsheet.
18th.
18th, okay. Yeah, that's about right, I think.
One after you?
Yeah. Makes sense. Right, hang on. Right, okay. Let me just catch up. Sorry, I'm trying to do stuff so I'm not doing loads of tabulation at the end of the show.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
It's very much, yeah. At least you're not having to rely on the likes of like Ross Cockrell and I Burns and whatever.
Who's he up against? Stephen Nelson, who was the guy that just retired, the former
Darius Slay.
No, the other guy that just retired from the Bills that came in that was good for a season.
Levi Wallace.
Levi Wallace.
Yeah, so
like he clears these
Kello
people.
Witherspoon.
I would say Jamal Dean is close. I mean, not quite. I mean, Darius Slay would be the biggest name, but he's closer to the Darius Slay,
Patrick Peterson,
Joe Hayden level than he is to.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he's that, but I'm saying he's in that group. He's not in
that camp. Yeah,
Levi Wallace, whatever group.
Yeah.
Let's hope he separates and becomes like a Stephen Nelson rather than a Levi Wallace. Where the drop off literally happened before us, where it starts good and then ends bad. All right. I think 20 is the next. If I've skipped over one of my own, no. So who wants to go with? Who have you got? 20.
I can go if you want.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Weirdly, a man who I was saying wouldn't even make the 53, and now, maybe I'm eating those words, but at 20, I've got Mr. Roman Wilson here.
Whoa!
I do think it is slightly important for him if, the worst comes to worst for Metcalf and Pittman, that Roman Wilson does show up. And it looks like, from early things here, he is doing that. So that is good. That is a good sign. And it's unbelievably important for him. I think we said this last year about him as well, but I think even more so this year, particularly with, a coaching staff that, Omar Khan's still in the building, but, Mike McCarthy didn't, help draft this guy. So, he's having to play for these new coaches and make sure that he's in the right place. And so far, so good from what it's looking like in camp. So, yeah, I think it's somewhat important for him to be able to burst through. And if things do end up bad with either Metcalf or Pittman, for him to be able to slot into a wide receiver 2 role there, because I think he's probably the next guy you're going to be looking at, unless Jeremy Bernard really comes on. But again, he's a rookie, so I didn't want to put him in there. So yeah, for me, it's Roman Wilson at the back end of this important list.
While I kind of agree with you, I do agree with everything you just said, right? But I think if we were doing this list a week ago, Roman Wilson wouldn't feature. Do you agree?
I mean, if we did it 2 weeks ago, I don't think he would feature, and he wouldn't have been in my 53 anyway.
Exactly.
So, yeah,
that's what I mean.
It's mad. Yeah, it is mad how long a week is in football.
Yeah, so I was kind of torn on this one, and in the end, he didn't make my list, and that's because
and I get that. Yeah.
I think it's easy to get hyped up by camp. I want to believe You know, he was I can't remember if he was my red star or my sleeper. He's probably my sleeper in that draft. I thought he was a perfect fit. But then I've made this mistake before with Omari Rogers, right? The slot tough man. You know, I'm hoping for Eric Decker. I'm hoping for the other little white dude. Every little white dude that's played. Wes Welker. And the other one, the one that played for the Rams and then played for the Patriots as well, was kind of...
Edelman.
No, the other one.
The other one.
The little white dude. What's his name? It'll come to me.
Oh, the running back.
No, the little receiver that played for the Rams and then went to the Patriots and was exactly a clone of Wes Welker and
After Wes Welker?
Yeah, slightly after, yeah. I'll work it out. But anyway, one of these like tough little slot receivers that can... Danny Woodhead was another guy, although he was a running back.
Woodhead.
Yeah, it wasn't that guy. But yeah, but these little cats that can like get underneath and like to make tough fall down catches, like a slot possession receiver. That's what we need Wilson to be. And I thought that was it. I'm hoping that's what he is. But at this point, I think if he doesn't hit, then Jeremy will come in, or they'll try and see what they got with Wheatgen, or they'll make Scrobro work, or they'll pick up another guy. So
Danny Amendola.
Danny Amendola. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
exactly.
of course.
Well done. Yeah, so that's what I thought Wilson will be. I hope that's what he becomes, but I'm not willing to say that he's that. If he fails, and there's a chance he does, because we've seen it from him before where he fails, I don't think it's going to torpedo the team. So that's why he's not on my list.
I guess that's why he's low on my list, but I still think it's somewhat important to have that security. And I think, I guess I just, yeah, no, I totally see why he wouldn't be on the list. And I'm guessing I was sort of second guessing about it, but then I just thought, yeah, I think the last week or so where it's become, it's looking good for him, and maybe I'm just, fool me 3 times at this point. But
oh man, though, if he hits, though, they got a free one.
If he hits,
if he hits,
exactly,
so
yeah.
It's out of nowhere. It's from downtown, right? It's like suddenly they've got a 3 receiver set that no one was expecting. Is that
exactly? Yeah.
Awesome?
But I heard. I don't know if you heard of this, Mark. I heard someone talking about this the other day. Think about the wide receivers that were drafted before Roman Wilson in that draft: Marvin Harrison Jr. Now Malik Neighbors, obviously. Roma Dunze, Brian Thomas, Xavier Worthy, Ricky Pearsall just injured after his whole situation. Xavier Leggett,
Substation.
Keon Coleman.
Xavier Leggett was a funny one. He was first round, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Wow.
32nd. Keon Coleman, Lad McConkey, probably the best of the group, maybe-ish.
Keon Coleman's
outside of the top elite neighbors. A.D. Mitchell,
Bust.
Jalen Polk, who just retired.
Oh, wow.
And then Roman Wilson. So it's like a really weird list, because it was supposed to be a great wide receiver group.
Yeah, that's so bizarre.
I think you could argue it is, though. But yeah, Harrison, hey, where in the NFL media could you listen to a podcast that told you beware of Marvin Harrison? He's not going to be as good. Well,
here
on this dial, set your dial.
We're not friends with the Harrison family.
Set your dial to the UK Steelers podcast in draft time. Tell you get some takes.
I'm already looking to the next Harrison, Jet Harrison, who is committed to the Buckeyes, Marvin's brother, and Marvin Harrison Sr.'s son, obviously. So
see if his tape and body
Harrison
language
coming in the future. Yeah.
See if his body language is as lazy as Marvin's was. And give it all
God,
away.
I mean, if you've seen those Cardinals camp videos.
Oof. Oh yeah, the cut up where everyone's dropping balls is amusing.
Mostly Marvin Harrison.
Yeah. So, did you have Roman Wilson?
I did not.
Okay.
That's fair. I can absolutely understand.
I've just got to see. I got to see it from him at this point. And the thing is, we saw some good stuff out of him in the last season. I can see it, but even then, it would be like he would be close to the bottom of my list. So it's like, All
right, let's push ahead. We're getting close here.
Yep.
Who have you got at 20? Si?
Asante Samuel Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Just think he's gonna. I just think we've got, again, talking about free ones, talking about ones from downtown. Asante Samuel Jr. came straight off the back of spinal fusion surgery, and so far so good. Has looked great. Looked like a free one. I think he deserves to be on the list. Talent alone, and what he can bring as a cornerback slotting in as and when we need him.
Fair enough. I like these here. I didn't make the list for me in that the cornerback grouping is quite deep. So if he's back,
he steps in and can. To me, like, he can play. Outside. He's so versatile. He can play outside corner, and nobody can do. You know what I mean? Like, to have 3 dudes that can do that I'm confident in is Plus a rookie that we're hoping we can be confident. You know what I mean? Like, it's like chef's kiss. So.
Oh yeah, I totally hear you. I'm glad he's there. Like, absolutely. But if he's not there, I think they're okay. But yeah,
Right.
it sounds like the plays he's making in camp. He's hard hitting. He's making plays on the ball. So yeah, it's great that he is there. I'm pleased for him. But it's just the depth they've got. Such a deep cornerback group.
He picks up a few points here, and that's the key thing.
Mark, do you have him?
I do not. No.
Okay, tied for he's your Roman Wilson. So
Yeah, it seems so. Jeez.
who am I going to have? All right, let's push on. At 21, I've got Deshaun Elliott. Who?
Same.
Whoa,
three.
weird. Okay.
That is well strange. At 21. There's no reason for it to be 21.
That's strange.
Moving on, Ben.
Yeah, done. Great player. Don't get us cancelled.
We're allowed 5 seconds.
Not live. I love the guy. Come back off injury. Just plays a position that they're stacked at. Strong safety. They're not short of strong safeties, but you kind of want him in there just for the steeliness of it, don't you? Like the hard hits, the downhill plays around the box, like tone setting stuff. So I'm hoping he's this is kind of just how do you feel about him if he has to play free safety? Can he do it? Like deep centre field.
I wouldn't like to see it.
Yeah, I feel less good about that, but yeah.
I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna ask him.
And that's why he's down on this list, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
He was a dog before that.
To be
injury,
honest,
man.
I considered having him. I honestly considered having him lower. Maybe not even having him on the list, just because the injury coming back for the injury. You know what I mean? Like I don't. Where's he going to be? Because it's been basically 2 years since we've really seen him at the level that we loved him at. So it was a
so
tough
thin
one,
there.
really.
Yeah. It is so thin around that whole area.
Exactly.
So,
That's what really secured the place. Yeah.
All right, trying to sneak in some spreadsheet, can't do it. Right,
agreement all around.
Yeah,
Love it.
nuts. 22, I had Brisker, but we've hit him, right? So we hit him as one of your last players. Where did you have him, Mark? Oh, you had him.
Brisker.
You had him at 18. Sorry.
Yeah.
So 22, I had him. You had Rico Dowdle. Who have you got 22, Mark?
I have Mr. Pat Fryermuth, as previously mentioned,
the last
where
guy
you
missing.
do not have him. I think he is. Yeah, he's definitely my last guy on this.
Yeah, because he's on my 23 on mine. So
yeah, he just snuck in there. Yeah, it's very much I need to see it now. Finally, come on, please, for God's sake! Like it's just, the fan base loves Muth, but there's got to be a certain portion of it that's getting tired of like nothingness. Yeah, it's. But he has it in it, like that catch against Cincinnati that should have won us the game. I mean, just incredible. And we have those moments with him, and they're just so fleeting, and they just need to be more consistent. But now with an even wider wide receiver room, and you've got Darnell Washington in there with him, I just wonder if it's ever going to happen.
Can I ask a question?
So it just becomes less important.
What's the great season for Pat Fryermuth? Because I mean, last season he had 54 targets for 486 yards. It's not. It's basically it's one of his lower involved seasons. But
I don't want him to have like Trey. Well, no, I do want him to have Trey McBride numbers. But I'm saying I don't expect him to have like Trey McBride numbers. But I guess what is the.
Because in his second season, it was his best season with us. He had 98 targets and 732 yards.
That was the first year after Ben, wasn't it? So that was Kenny. Well, yeah, Mitch. That was Trubisky and Pickett, who probably were really needing to lean on tight end help there.
I just kind of think like we're very critical of Pat Fryermuth, but I think a lot of the criticism is in that we want to see him more involved because when he has the ball, he does good things with it. So and this is not what this argument is. I mean, we've got him in the same place. In fact, I've got him lower, but I just think we could if they wanted to. I know that Gav doesn't believe in him. We could see increased importance on Pat Fryermuth. It's just that the team hasn't looked for it from him, and whether that be his role or just how he kind of fits in his offense or other things, I don't know. But I just think Pat Fryermuth's got the potential to be more involved. It's in him. He looks great when the ball's in his hands. I think I don't know. So we'll
I imagine
see.
looking back, he's probably dropped down a position every year potentially.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think he's. But all this to say, I don't think I think he's just settling in at a certain sort of position as a tight end in a room that's now got a lot of talented, options in the short game.
So now I had him 8th last year, so maybe not.
That's pretty nuts. Where did I have him last year?
And then 16th the year
Last
before,
year,
so
no, last year I had him at 21st, so it's not changed much.
I think last year it was very much I was hoping that him and Rodgers would have the connection because I felt like Rodgers would want to lean on him a bit more.
I think that's kind of what I mean is that every year we come here and we say like, when's the year where Pat Fryman's going to have the thing and blow? But it's like, what would that even really look like? I mean, he's not going to go for 1,000 yards. Like, he's probably going to be like a 500-600 yard receiver at most anyway, and he's already basically there. I think what we really want from him is to be more involved in big moments, to score more touchdowns, is to like move the chains on third down more. I think that's really what we need from Pat Fryermuth.
Yeah, it's going back to his rookie season, which is the one time that he surprised me when he became a red zone weapon. My issue with Fryermuth in the draft was that I just thought he was kind of soggy route runner, soggy blocker. Like, okay, like he can find a zone and sit down, but just doesn't dominate the catch point, doesn't dominate players one-on-one. And I don't like that from my tight end. I want my tight end to be physical.
He dominates players one-on-one. I think he's physical.
It's kind of like he doesn't lose, but he doesn't win. He just he's like a sponge. He just soaks up people, right? Like Washington, he hits people. Heath, he hit people. Like Muth, like he gets contact and he like occupies them. Like, it doesn't move people out the way. It just stops them from doing something, which is okay. Like, it's just okay. Like, everything's okay. Like, he doesn't win. Like, and that's my issue. And you see it downfield. He doesn't win at the catch point. I like him. I don't love him. And I kind of love Washington. So I kind of want Washington to be tight end one as a role player, as you can hang your hat on what Washington does. What does, apart from finding a zone and sitting down, what does Muth really do?
What did Heath Miller do?
Heath Miller dominated the seam, man. Like, the seam was with Heath Miller.
Dominates the seam.
No. Sorry, that's incorrect. Like, Heath moved people out of the seam and created rushing lanes, or he ran down the hashes and caught passes and bowled people over. Like, Heath was a different player in terms of how he dominated his area of the field. Like, Muth plays over a bigger area of the field. I'll give you that. Like, he can play different routes and sit down, but he doesn't dominate in those areas like Heath did. Apologies to Muth fans, but yeah.
It gives the Andy from Toy Story meme, where he's just holding Darnell Washington, he's just dropping.
Done with you now.
Poor Papa. Yeah, I don't want to play with you anymore.
Well, I've got his jersey from Penn State, so
you'll be buying a Darnell Washington Georgia jersey very soon.
It's going to be Nowakowski. Right, okay. So,
yeah, that's true.
Okay, so I think I've got all of your guys' ratings.
Yeah, you definitely got mine. Yeah,
you haven't got my 22. So 21 was Deshaun Elliott. 22 is Jaquan Brisker. 23, I had Caden Weechin.
Oh, he was 28.
Because that special teams ability, the return ability, I think he's going to be special. I genuinely
want to see
believe
it before he hits the 25. I want to see it.
Sure,
and then I can.
Sure, I think the fact that he's been in with the first line in special team returns at camp, I think that shows you they believe in him. He's tiny, right? He's 5'9". I mean, I've got a friend that's 5'9". He's small, so that is what. How tall are you, Si?
5'10".
Towering above Weechin.
Straight to Si for that.
How tall are you, Mark?
Why did you go to me as just a short person, like ruler, like a line of demarcation? Then
no, how tall are you, Mark?
5'11.5".
So I just knew you were slightly shorter than Mark's side. That was all. Just saying, we're all taller than Caleb Weechin.
I'm always
I never claim to be 6 foot. I always say 5'11.5" because that's what it is. And yeah.
So I'm just saying, there's a chance he doesn't work out. I don't think he's going to be a receiver. I think he might be a gadget weapon though, and they've been trying some things out with that. So will he get used in a tight spot? Is it him or Scrobro that comes in? Who knows? But I think that return with these new kickoff rules, I think that return role is. We saw it with Caleb Johnson, right? When it goes wrong, it goes really wrong. I think Wheatgen's going to be kind of special in that. So I had him at 23.
My measurables are that of Mackay Lemon. I have the exact same measurables. It's amazing how different two human beings can be with the same height and weight.
And both of you were nearly on the stick. Oh no. Okay. So Wheatgen didn't make the team for either of you dudes?
No, 28 on my honourable mention list.
Okay. Sorry, just doing some spreadsheetery. Not that it matters because he's not making the team. Right. Okay. And then I had at 24, last player to talk about, Spencer Anderson. Can't believe he got left off.
He's 27 on my honourable mention.
He probably would have been in my 26 to 30 range, definitely. Yeah.
Why?
But is it even going to be him?
Well, I think the reasoning is I think he's earned the spot now. And I've talked about...
He's earned something, definitely.
Yeah. Even if he loses out guard to Jennings Dunker, let's say, he's still going to be on the team as tackle eligible and one of the best tackle eligibles we've seen for a while, I think. We saw it with the Arthur Smith offense, how good he is at blocking and moving around. But I think, as I said, I think the interior of this O-line, McCormick, Frazier and Anderson, they're the returning veterans. I think that gives some coherence to, the switching of the tackles and the flux that we've got at right tackle. So I think Spencer Anderson as an experienced player that can in a tight spot, as I said earlier, if Hannah doesn't work out in year one, let's hope he does in year two. Cook doesn't work out, Spencer Anderson could come in at right tackle, and so I think he's important in that he can, move around the line, play any position, and be experienced and not be scared because he's in the NFL as a pro player and it's his first or second season, experience. So I think that's valuable, but it didn't make either of your list.
No, I guess it was just a bit of. Again, very similar to Mason McCormick, who was 24th on my list, and he's 27th on mine. So it's just, what do you do with these unit guys? He's kind of the one that I think is probably the most borderline starter to. We don't know what's going on. I guess he's earned that right guard spot, but by what? Absence of anyone else to take it?
Ooh, okay. We have a tie, and I think that means we have a top 26 important.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, wait. No, I've got it wrong.
Is that first?
No, I've got it wrong. Hang on. Sorry, my mistake.
Wait, who's 19?
My mistake. Sorry, just a half-finished spreadsheetery.
Mark, I don't know. Does that look like a sacrosanct?
No. It was no. It's fine. It was just some spreadsheeting functioning, not a malfunction. I can tell you the last player on the list is also misspelt here. Hang on.
Oh, now does the spelling count in the sacrosancticity?
No, okay. Is Pat Frymuth. Made it with 7 points. So I can give you the full list now. Here you go.
Yes, okay.
Awesome. Right, from top to bottom, we have Aaron Rodgers. Then we have Patrick Queen.
Wow, number 2.
Yeah, high. Troy Fautanu, 3rd. I think that makes sense. DK Metcalf. 5th, we have Joey Porter. 6th, Mr. TJ Watt. 7th, Derek Harmon.
Where's Cam Hayward? That's ridiculous.
8th, Jalen Ramsey. 9th, Cam Hayward.
Like 8 spots behind Derek Harmon.
Yeah.
Okay.
10th, Alex Highsmith. And I'm glad that Highsmith made the top 10. I think that shows we know what we're doing.
I'm glad we both put him 12. Me and Mark.
11th, Zach Frazier. 12th, Nick Herbig. 13th, well, actually, joint 12th, Nick Herbig and Peyton Wilson. Joint 14th, Jalen Warren and Michael Pittman.
Why is it starting to sound like you're reading like a casualty list?
I don't know. I don't know how to do this. How do I do this? You get to a certain point. You get to a certain point where you are just literally reading a list.
Jazz it up for me. Give me, what was the last one you said?
Well, I'll tell you the next one is very, very important. Should have been higher. A lot of folks thought it should have been higher. Not me though. A lot of people don't know what they're saying. It's Chris Boswell is 16th. Should have been higher.
Do you know what's amazing? He's landed exactly where I put him.
17th was Darnell Bignell Washington. 18th, Jamal Dean.
Perfect. That's where I put him.
19th, Mason McCormick. See, important but hidden on the list. 20th, Rico Dowdle. That could change, right? So what have we got?
Where was Jalen Warren?
14th, I was going to say. 14th, Jalen Warren. 20th, Rico Dowdle. That could shift.
Interesting. Yeah.
21st was Deshaun Elliott. We all had him in that slot.
Yeah, the melding of the minds.
22 was Max at Hannah. Now, I'd argue that's a mistake myself. but you guys seem set on that.
What do you mean you guys? I didn't have him.
You guys. I'm the only one who... I just put him at
way
11th.
Yeah.
I've successfully guarded him onto the list where he should be.
Yeah. Sorry, Mark. You had him correctly placed. It's slightly skewed this thing. And then at 23, we have Jaquan Brisker. Accurate. 24, nod to Mark, Keanu Benton. And then...
that's nonsense.
Okay.
Yeah, it's nonsense. He's not any higher, yeah.
Right. And then last but not least, Pat Frymuth. I don't see how Frymuth has any bearing on this season whatsoever, but fine.
What are you talking
I don't know how...
Can we cut that? Can we cut just that? I don't see how Pat Frymuth has any bearing on this season.
I'll stand by it. I think the players you've missed off that list...
Why not just cut him then? What's he even here for?
Well, he's a useful piece. I'm not denying that he's like a useful player on this team, but he's not an important player. Like basically, what is this 25? It's 11 on offense. It's 11 on offense, 11 on defense.
He's the third target. He's literally the third target of this offense.
Okay, it's 11 on offense, 11 on defense, and 3 special teams. And I don't think he fits into that.
Just gonna look up 2027 drafts.
5 with the quarterback 6, with the running back 7, 8, 9, 10. He would be 10th, even if you just listed by starter. He's the third target on the team, pretty clearly.
All right, we'll see. I stand by it. I wavered a little bit on this after the rookie season, but I'm back. I'm now back on the Pat's not.
Do you know what? I want to sit down. I want to sit down with the grilling with Fryermuth or whatever his special training camp thing was called. I want to sit down. I just want to give him a microphone and say, "So, Pat, what's it like being back in camp here? Obviously, different faces, new skin. Listen, I just want to talk about that coward, Gavin Marshall."
All right, and then honourable mentions, players that scored points but didn't make the list. Riley Nowakowski, Roman Wilson, Asante Samuel, Caden Wheatgen, and Spencer Anderson. Seemingly all my players.
Asante Samuel, Roman Wilson. Well,
Roman Wilson was
one of you and then 3 of mine. So that's fine.
Well, you like to throw some of these bizarre choices in, don't you?
Bizarre. All right. Well, let's see come December how we're feeling about this.
But you don't have any conviction behind your choices, so you try and hide them all at the bottom, and then they don't make it in the list.
What are you talking about? I led to
Max
you.
Hanacho 11th. That's why he makes this list.
So you're saying I should have put Riley Nowakowski at 12?
If you believed in it.
I just think that I'm trying to be realistic. I'm trying to bring realism here. But
I'm bringing realism.
I actually wanted to put Nowakowski higher, but I put him at 25 because I wanted to lead off. So there was a little bit of skewing there because I knew he would
I like the Nowakowski pick. Pick.
All right. Yeah.
But also, I mean, we were saying that we're not allowed to put the first round tackle in, but we're talking about the 5th round.
Yeah, because there's no other fullback on this damn team.
All right.
No other, so multiple. But I'm glad what this means is
Nowakowski. Back to the 2026 most important positions list with Gav.
Nowakowski clearly in my stable. He is mine, claimed.
He's claimed him, yeah.
Forever. All right, cool. Let's get the hell out of here.
I'm getting a Hanacho. I'm all good with it.
Okay, good. I like a Hanacho too, though. Don't get me wrong. All right, Glenn. Thanks to everyone. It's a busy chat tonight. I think we know Friday nights. If you want a busy chat, Friday night's the night to do it. We won't necessarily be able to do it in the season though. Unfortunately,
in the season, but it's good for the off season. You know, we'll see what we can do. It doesn't mean to say that we can't sometimes do maybe just live hangouts that aren't official episode. I don't know. We'll revisit in the season, see what we can do.
That's it. The end of the off season, guys. That's it. Preseason starts next week. So
appreciate you all.
Yeah. If you've stuck for this show and for the whole of this off season, appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate you, Jason, in the chat there, and shout out to Mark. I know he wants to get off, but appreciate Mark, who's put in 6.5, 7 hours in the last 2 days or whatever.
Yeah, Mark, come on,
show, so
yeah,
what a legend.
Yeah, appreciate Jason still here, man.
Thanks to those.
Oh, sorry.
That was loud.
Let's get it off quick.
Yeah.
Oh, that was loud. Oh,
Yeah. Thanks, Jason. Yeah, you're still here, man.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Jason.
Yeah.
Your thanks is by getting your ears blown off. But
Yeah.
all right, follow the show at UK Steelers Pod. Follow me at Cyril. Follow Gav at GMBoo. Follow Mark at Mesh NFL. We'll see you all next week. Are we gonna have preseason game next week?
Yeah, we got a game, right? It's like all the preseason games are shit times. They're like midnight on Thursdays or Fridays. It's going to be awkward.
Sounds like a great time.
Well, I say it's good for you, but it's not great for me. But
Yeah, midnight going into next Friday, Steelers Packers.
All right.
yeah,
All right. Well, we'll figure that out then. I guess we'll do it after that, or I don't know. We'll revisit this. But
yeah, it's not great for the working man. That's what I'm saying. That wants to spend a Friday night with family.
work smarter, not harder. That's what I say.
Okay, I'd love to be 25 again. Just
I'm
saying.
30, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'd love to be 30 with no kids.
We'll see you all next week.
All right, thanks, guys. See you later.
See ya.
Go, Max.